Hey guys! Haha, it's good to see ya. Good to see y'all. It's awesome. It's awesome. Sorry about this lousy lighting. I'm hoping. Oh yeah, there it's really going to heck. I'm hoping it'll get better as the sun sets. The there, that's a little bit better. But it, yeah. Anytime I move an arm or something, it throws the lighting off. The yeah, look at that. It just sorry guys, sorry. The blue screen effect is getting all goofed up by the sunset. But I am here, and so are you. I am so thrilled. I am so thrilled to see all of you. I'm going to take a quick peek here at all of my folks out there in the chat. Now, earlier I had Middle Music and I had David Jones, but their comments disappeared for some reason out of my chat. I don't know why. And then Kathy Gahan came in. Hey, Kathy. And Kathleen Kendall, Jack's grandma. It's so good to see you. And who else are we? Oh, James with Chasing the Reaper. There's Freeman James. Great to see you. Awesome, brother. Awesome. You're going to see me reaching for this dang light constantly, trying to get this blue screen to clean up somehow. I don't know. That ain't going to do it. Maybe if I get rid of this light. No, that didn't help either. Ain't it terrible? Ain't it terrible? It is what it is, I guess. And there's Mayberry 316. Mayberry you 316. It is awesome to see you. I am doing real good. I'm doing really good. Hey, share it out, guys. Share it out. Let all of our friends out there know we're hanging out and chatting. And I have, yeah, it looks like 78,000 mosquitoes. You're right. Yeah, it does. Now, my one campground, that's the way they look. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. Ready to. That's nuts. It's nuts. It ain't gonna let me do nothing. No, it don't. It's because this bright sun is shining right through my curtains, and it's screwing everything up. Hey, Ritz Spritz. Enjoyed the live with Nick over the weekend. Well, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, Nicholas Green was with me for almost a full week. And on his last night, he asked me, he said, "Are you up to it if I try to do a live stream from here on my phone?" I said, "What do you mean, am I up to it? Of course I am. Go for it." So he did. He managed to fire his system up, and we were able to do about a 50-minute live stream. And all we did was sit at the campfire and chat. Oh, great, Kathy, you saw it too. That's good. I'm glad. I don't have anybody in the basement right now. I'll take a quick peek here. Yeah, I've only had a couple of folks that have seen that the stream is actually going, and that I sent invitations to. And one of them, I suspect they'll pop up soon. They'll be in the house. They'll be in the house. We'll have somebody up here with me. Oh, there's one right there that's just that fast. Look at this guy. Hey,
what's happening, Sty?
my blue screen's going all to hell. That's what's happening.
That's crazy. Would you do me a favor in the future? When you're camping with riffraff, will you keep them there?
Oh, I knew. Yeah. You know, that was your screw up. It's your fault.
Oh, is that my fault?
You said pizza to him. And that boy said, I don't know. He says, we've got such a long drive home. He said, and if I stop at Phil's, he said something about pizza, and his skinny little buddy's going, pizza? Pizza? So that's all I heard was pizza that last night. And that, well, suppose we should stop in, And so he sends me a message saying, well, we got home at 2:00 in the morning. I laughed so damn hard. I said, oh, yeah, you stopped at Phil's, didn't you? Kept you busy, eh? Hey, I had him for almost a week. So don't you start complaining, buddy.
Yeah, no. I wish we had more time to hang out, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, I still wasn't sure that he was going to make it because they were, he had mentioned what time he was going to be there initially, and then he gave me an update of where they were at. So I gave him an out if he wanted to because I did. They got home at 2:00 in the morning. And I says, listen, I messaged him. I said, listen, it'd be great if you stopped by, but if you can't or you don't for some reason, I understand.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Right. So it was about 7:30. I hadn't heard from him since I messaged him that way. It'd been a couple hours. I think it was about 7:15 or 7:30. And I thought I hadn't heard from him, but I figured if he got to my place, it'd be about 8 or 9, right? So I go out to my pool and I decide I'm going to get the vacuum out in the pool and vacuum out the pool.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm out there and, you don't hear a lot of cars up and down my part of the town, part of the way, whatever you want to call it, on the country where I live. And when they would come from the north, I kind of look over my shoulder. Yep, not him. I'm thinking, but I'm still not even not even 100%. Well, he's been texting me since the second I got in the pool. He'd been texting me. Of course, my phone is not within reach.
Right. So
he gets there. He's whistling. I finally catch him, and we started hanging out. So,
I figured he wasn't going to get home anytime early if he stopped there.
Yeah.
Did he tell you his trip up to me?
No.
Oh, jeez. Them damn boys got so damn lost. It was ridiculous. And they got GPS for kind of.
Right?
He calls me. He says, well, I'm here. And I go.
I live up there and I got lost trying to get to you. So what the hell are you talking
about? I told him, I said, you ain't here. He goes, well, yeah, I am. He says, I'm looking right at the sign. And it says campsites number 1 through 49 or 1 through 69 or something like that. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you're in a campground that says campsites 1 through 11 or more, you're at the wrong campground. And he goes, I'm not at the wrong campground. It says Twin Lake Campground right here. I said, you got to be freaking kidding me. You're 48 miles south of me. I said, that's Twin Lake Campground. I'm at East Twin Lake Campground, 48 miles north of there. Then they get up there and they're going, well, what's the nearest big town? And I said, well, you've got, it's a flip of the coin. You got either Hayward or Ashland. I said, they're only a couple miles difference. And he goes, oh, we went through Hayward. I said, you had better not have gone through Hayward. You goofball, you know how far out of the way you were if you ended up going through Hayward from frickin' Pennsylvania? Hell, you don't have to go to South Dakota to get to East Twin Lake Campground. Those boys were so damn lost. So they come rolling into my campground. Get this. Rolling into my campground at 9:45. Well, it's a Forest Service campground. You shut the hell up and be quiet at 10 o'clock.
Sure.
Oh, no. His tent, it's an awesome tent, but it's got all these aluminum poles. And it sounds like a bunch of church bells while he's putting it up. And both of them are so wore out after 14 hours on the road. It's just clang, 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 clang. After he gets it all put up, he's airing up 2 air mattresses. And he goes, "Oh my God." He says, "I'm afraid that I'm going to wake people up with this blower for the air mattresses." I said, after banging all them pipes around, those air mattress, that compressor, then that's putting them to sleep compared to the pipes. But yeah, once they got settled, then yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I took them to 8 different waterfalls, and I was smart this time. I avoided as many stairs as I could. Where the week before with John and Jan, I went and hiked the damn stairs, except at Copper Falls. I know better at Copper Falls. I ain't climbing them damn stairs. So, everybody, say everybody. Yeah, he says, "Sty, I forgot. Was I right? Right? Yeah." Hey, we're going to get to your story right next, Chris, because this is a good one, guys. Your story, Mary.
I got no story.
You got a story, man. If you don't tell it, I'm telling it. But I got to bring this person up first. Hi, Granny.
Hey, Sty.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. Hey, Phil.
Hey.
Hey, Sty. I forgot I was right?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Hey, John and Jan are in the house. Adventures in the Heartland. Can't stay long working in the garden. So,
what story you're talking about? I got no stories.
Yes, you do. Well, okay, if you don't have a story, just tell us how Friday went.
Typical Friday.
Oh, no, that's a typical Friday, my ass. This boy calls me after the fact and tells me his story about Friday. Well, his weekend, I should say. It's so after the fact. I'm sitting there worrying about him, and then I realized, well, no, if he's talking to me on the phone and he sounds all chipper and everything, I guess he's beyond.
Well, I was talking to him, and then I had to leave him, so he didn't get the whole story. He got the main front of it, but didn't get the whole story.
Didn't get the tail of it?
Well, I just told you I died, and then I had to leave.
Well, pretty much, yeah. You told me how. Yeah, we got on the discussion of the life flight and the timing and how the doctors would not have been so readily available on Saturday.
Okay, so he just died Friday. Wow.
12.
I died not once, but 12 times.
12 times.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, pacemakers are wonderful.
Especially when
if they work.
Okay, so here's the story. Some of you may or may not know. Most of you probably do not know.
Hi, Rebecca.
I've had a pacemaker for 17 years. All caused by a bad tooth. I've had 3 valve replacements and a pacemaker and an aortic tube replacement. Okay, so jump forward to Friday. Okay, so I was due to go up and see a cardiologist yesterday, Tuesday. My battery on my pacemaker was getting low. And so I was supposed to go up there. They were going to upgrade me to a new pacemaker, a 3-lead, because my heart function had dropped about 40%, and that was why my pacemaker was pumping out faster, pumping out more, draining the battery more.
Yeah.
So earlier in the week, early in the week, I had what I thought was just a really bad head rush. Didn't think much of it. On Friday, I was getting ready to take my dogs to the lake. It's been, as Sty says, it's been 90-something degrees here.
Yep.
And I take my dogs to the local lake to go swim. So I was getting ready, and next thing, I'm in the bathroom. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Like, ooh, okay, blacked out, something happened. I didn't know what's going on. I got some construction guys here, and they're doing some work, and they came in and they go, Chris, you okay? I said, yeah, I don't know what happened. So I get the dogs ready, get outside, and it happened 2 more times. The third time, I fell backwards, hit my head on their work benches, and landed on it, I guess. Crawled back, I was struggling on the ground. Crawled up onto the deck, got in my chair, sat in the shade for about 45 minutes just to get everything straightened out, my faculties and stuff. And finally said, okay, something is definitely not going on right here. I called my wife, said, you need to take me to the emergency room. So she comes and gets me, takes me in the emergency room. And they hooked me up. I mean, they know about my heart stuff and all that I'm on a pacemaker and stuff like that. And, I do the blood tests and stuff like that. The doctor comes in and goes, so how long have you been diabetic? I go, huh? What are you talking about? So they were going to admit me thinking, okay, this is passing out from being diabetic. I had gotten up to use a urinal in the room, and another session happened. That session lasted 20 seconds. My wife was in the room with me. By that time, the doc comes in and goes, what did you just do? I go, I peed. Well, things got serious then. They called Duluth, which is our major hospital, and where they've done all my heart stuff. And they originally, I was going to get a ambulance ride. Well, they upgraded me to a helicopter ride.
Hey.
And as the crew from the helicopter were sitting outside my room talking, whatever, I had another episode which actually lasted 60 seconds, according to the record. So I was dead.
A full minute.
A full minute. And I was in the room by myself. Nobody was in there. I could hear them. Of course, it came on. I just sat down on the couch, on the bench, whatever. And then they finally come in. Or I got back up, woke up, finally called for them. They came in. So they strapped me in. By this time we know we're going. My wife has left. She's getting the dogs to the kennel and all that stuff. So I get the helicopter ride up to Duluth. It was 20 minutes from it's normally about an hour and a half car ride. It was about a 35-minute ride in the helicopter. From when I landed to when I got onto the table where they do the procedure was 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, I had about 4 more episodes where they
just shut you down.
They did. Well, they couldn't get me. I mean, that was before they shut. Yeah, the pacemaker shut down.
Yeah,
and so
which shut you down.
What shut me down.
Yep.
And so, so they got done at about 9 o'clock. I was in my room by 10, and I got my discharge papers at 2 o'clock Saturday morning.
That's nuts.
So here's a fast forward a little bit. We're back at 10 o'clock or at noon on Friday. The doctor's office got a report from my pacemaker company saying there's an issue with the pacemakers that they get low on power. Half an hour later, they get a call saying we got a guy who's got a problem with his pacemaker. There's 327 patients in their area that have to have this pacemaker replaced. So if this would have happened on Saturday, I would have been in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Because as it was, their shifts, their day started at 6 o'clock on Friday morning. They were getting ready to leave. They had already lost 2 of their team members, so they were struggling. They had to scramble to get a team to help to get me back into play. So that's my little story. I don't know what side's making a big deal of it.
I told him. He says that he'll text me, let me know when he's going to come visit me in camp. I said, well, good, because then I can get the jumper cables out and be ready to go. And, I got 3 deep cycle batteries there. I can nail them quite a few times if I have to. I had to ask him, though, which nipple is the positive?
Left nipple and the great big toe. That's what you connect.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I mean, just the clamps will keep them from, dying.
And just and so while I was in the helicopter, they actually, when the nurse came in,
Hey,
the
Keto,
room,
Rebecca.
she comes in and she's showing me these big ass pads. I mean, they're this big around. I go, what are those for? She goes, well, we got to put these on. We're giving these to the ambulance. No, they didn't put me on. They didn't put them on me, but they were external, more or less jump starters. But they're extra. It's an external pacemaker. If for some reason something were to happen in the flight, I slap them on, plug me in. One of the nurses in the helicopter says, "You don't want us to use these."
Yeah.
It's more or less, it's shocking you. It's not pacing you. It's shocking you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more or less defib pads.
So your pacemaker was shutting down?
Yep.
And was it starting back up? That's what started you back up?
No. What it was, because of the low power, this is where it's flawed. Because of the low power, the pacemaker reprogrammed itself. And on by itself.
Oh.
And so it was getting false readings or vibrations or whatever. It's like, oh crap, and it was actually doing what you call like your computer. You do a hard
rebooting,
control alt reset. It was resetting itself.
Yeah.
So it was shutting down, rebooting itself. I'm 100% dependent on my pacemaker. So when it shut down, I shut down until it came back up.
Yeah. And it kept doing that because of the short power supply. So
well, no, it wasn't because of the short power supply. It was after it already reprogrammed itself. So it was doing it because, like, if I would roll over on my side or something like that.
Well, no, I mean, when it initially reset itself, it was because of the short power supply.
Right.
But then after that, if he did anything that would send an electrical impulse to his
or
body,
something, whatever, if it was,
that just moved the wrong way or something,
picking up false signals, because your body's always giving off.
Yeah, all kinds of electrical charges and that. Hey, Crazy Ann, great to see you, girl.
Hey, Crazy Ann.
Love you, girl. So, and he wants to come and visit me. Now, I feel real comfortable, I just,
Right?
Yeah,
He's
give me enough
pacemaker now, right?
Yeah,
What was that?
They fixed them.
They gave me they gave me a whole. I got a whole new. I mean, they ripped that other one out of me and gave me new leads, and I got I'm good for another 100,000 miles.
There you go.
That's the way to look at it. Hi, Ingalls family.
So I'll actually be, like say, pacemakers. The batteries themselves, depending on how hard they're used, for lack of a better term, usually last 7 to 12 years with this new pacemaker, and because there's 3 leads, it'll probably last 4 to 5. And I'll have to have a new one put in.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So that's the story that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I bet Sty's glad it turned out to be a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I wanted him to tell the story because it had a good, outcome, I thought, oh, geez, that was pretty damn close, losing my old buddy Cheesehead,
Well, and as Sty knows, my history of medical history, if anything can go wrong, will go wrong, and has gone wrong.
Yeah.
It's the case where, even though it was a bad situation, I was lucky how things
played out.
Yeah. Say, if this would have happened on a Saturday,
would have been bad business.
I probably would have, it's hard to, who knows? Because the road from Superior to Duluth is all torn up, and it just, I would have been probably strapped down to a table or a bed, not to move until they could get somebody.
Yeah,
in.
they would have kept you borderline comatose through that period of time.
They probably would have put me out just so I wouldn't move and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
so no,
Well, I am so glad that it actually played out the way it did. That everything.
So I feel good.
Everything.
I gotta, but the only thing that really hurts is my back of my shoulder up to my head where I hit my head.
Yeah.
I still got a pretty good size goose egg and knot and it tightness down my neck and into my shoulder.
I wasn't worried about that when you said that you hit your head. There ain't nothing up there to damage anyway.
There's a big ass dent in that sawhorse, I think. But
yeah. You're quite a bit of a guy to be falling into something. So, yeah, I'm sure that sawhorse wished it hadn't been there.
so
yeah, and after he told me all of this, I told him, I said, well, that just made all my problems and my goofy week just go right out the window. I'm feeling like $1 million. Thank you.
It's one of those stories you just can't top, right?
Well, I don't want to try to top it.
Yeah, no shit.
So the next saga of the story will be going into and figuring out this diabetes thing's going on. And,
yeah,
because my doctor brought it up about a year ago or so, but I had a meeting with him in April. He never brought it up again. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely nice.
I think they're going to be able to work with you pretty good on that because
like I said,
you're disciplined enough with your diet and stuff. You're already used to a lot of the.
I'm gonna have to give up my jelly beans.
Oh, too bad. I had to give up my damn ice cream, man.
I got a whole cupboard full of 25-cent Walmart jelly beans. After Easter, when it was 25 cents a bag.
Well, now you got to eat them one at a time, maybe 3 a day.
All in moderation.
All in moderation. That's it. I can say on my diabetes, they're trying to get me approved for this new med, and I don't know.
For eating in front of you, but I don't want my pizza to get cold.
No, go for it. But I don't know that I'm going to need the new med. My blood sugars have been pretty damn good. I am so active out there at camp that I just burn all the carbs right off. And this hosting thing, I thought, I found out this week, I thought, well, now I know the worst of hosting, and that's when somebody that's got a bad case of the squirts uses one of my bathrooms. And I swear to God, somebody had to have stood up on the rim of that crapper and said, let's see if I can hit it. Oh, yeah, they hit the whole crapper inside and out. But thank God Forest Service gives us these awesome pressure washers, man. And so you don't have to touch nothing, but it's still nasty, And so I thought, well, that's the worst thing about hosting right there. Well, hi, Tim. Kirk Whipper's in the house. I found out campgrounds and the boat landings. I've got this Simplicity lawnmower, right? Big lawn tractor, 48-inch deck, and East Twin Campground. I've got 3 campsites that are so freaking tight with trees. There's trees all over them campsites. And of course, there's got to be grass growing between them all. So it's back and forth, and around you go. And it's real sandy soil where I'm at, and it's sugar sand. It's finer than beach sand. So if you don't shut that PTO off right away, you're in a cloud of that crap. I was so filthy dirty yesterday afternoon when I got done finally mowing that I went down to the lake. I went down one of the campsites, didn't have anybody in it, and they got an awesome lake access there. I went down and plunk, hit that lake. Now that lake, it's got an extra inch of dirt on the bottom of it. I just
didn't think
added
it was-
a bunch.
I didn't think it was that time of month for you to get your monthly bath.
Well, no, I had to take an extra one because of that.
Oh.
And
So
now
skip next month then. You don't need it. You're good.
I have to plan on doing that every time I mow now. See, now here's the deal. So we're fighting with the Forest Service. Me and Travis from Destination Great Lakes. He hosts Black Lake Campground, half hour south of me, and we share the same mower. And they've got this little 14-foot trailer to haul that mower on, right? Well, him and I, we had it all figured out. I'd have the mower for a week, then he'd get the mower for a week, then I'd have it for another week, and then back and forth all summer, right? And we figured that'll work because we can keep up with everything. Well, then they told us, well, that's fine, but guess what? You guys can't move that mower because you can't pull a trailer with that Forest Service truck unless you take the training. I go, training to pull a 14-foot trailer? Are you blooming nuts? Oh, no, you got to take it. So I said, well, okay. So we show up. I showed up. First day that John and Jan from Adventures in the Heartland show up at my camp, right? I can't stay and visit with them because I got to go to training.
Trailer training.
And so I went and did my trailer training. Get there. No. Get there, and they said, okay, Sty, you'll go first, then Travis. I said, okay, I don't care. I don't give a shit. And the instructor, the guy that does the testing, he says, first thing he asked me, how much experience you got backing up a trailer? I said, 50-foot dry box count? I said, I used to drive over the road truck. I said, come on, this is a joke. And he goes, okay. He says, I'm glad to hear that. He says, all I want you to do is back up, do what you have to do to use a trailer safely. So I backed up and got the trailer hitched up, checked all the lights, even checked the wheels to make sure the wheel bearings were good, did everything. And he's just watching me, and he says, now, he says, you're going to drive the truck into the lot here, and he says, you're going to pull forward into that drive there, and you're going to back the trailer around 90 degrees and up to that gate, and there's going to be a cone at that gate. You got to center that cone as much as you can on that trailer. He says, we'll give you about 18 inches left or right, but he says, you got to stop that trailer within 6 inches of the cone. I said, you just tell everybody to get the hell out of my way. I got in that truck, back there around that 90, straight back to that gate, and just as I hit the brakes and stopped and threw it in park, my supervisor's yelling, whoa, stop, he's freaking out. I get out of the truck, I go, what's up? What's that? He goes, oh my God, and he's holding the clipboard, and he passes the clipboard between the cone and the tailgate of that trailer, and he goes, my God, you're within the thickness of a clipboard of touching that cone. And he said, look at the tailgate of the trailer. It's got 3 big support bars built into the tailgate. The center support bar is dead center of the trailer. And that cone, if you stood behind the cone and looked, it's dead center to that bar. And within about half an inch of the cone. That instructor, he walks over to me and he says, you know, you've got this, and this. You got to do the serpentine. You got to do this and that. And he says, I should say Travis will. He says, you're done. You're certified. I said, well, thank you. You just wasted my time. I come here and I spend 10 minutes pulling that trailer and parking it when I need to be back at camp. And he says, well, just look at it this way. Now you can pull the trailer. So I'm thrilled. Travis passed. He takes the tractor down to his campground, does all of his mowing, brings the tractor back to that yard, which is just 10 minutes down the road for me. I drive down there to get it. Everything went good. Hooked up, get to my campground, run the tractor off the trailer. Literally within 10 minutes, I'm crossing a blacktop road, turn the PTO on because I'm going to mow our pay station area when you first come in the campground. Turn the PTO on, and just as I get to the grass, I hear clank, clank. And I thought, what the hell is that noise? And the deck didn't seem to be vibrating as much. And then all of a sudden, the deck wasn't vibrating at all. I stopped the tractor, and I turned around and looked. 2 blades laying side by side with their bolts and washers, right, still attached to them, laying there on the ground. In front of them, less than 3 feet away, is the center blade of the tractor laying. All 3 blades came completely off that tractor. Now, I tell you, right away I said, Travis, do you dislike me that much? You had to have had them suckers loose enough for all 3 of them to fall off at the same time. No, he said, I didn't have any troubles with it. Well, hey, Sassy Shane, good to see ya. So what I picked everything up. There was a bolt and a washer. Could not find. I was so pissed off. And Nick Green was there. That's right. And so I get back to camp and told Nick what happened, showed him the blades, everything. And I said, but I got 2 parts missing, so it doesn't do me any damn good. I said, I got to find those 2 parts. I went back up there and I dug through there's ground up leaves all over there. And I'm digging through that stuff, trying to find that bolt and that washer. I spent an hour on my frickin' knees digging through that shit. Couldn't find a thing. The next morning, Nick and his buddy were heading home. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They were packing up, getting ready to go. They got out of there at 6:15. And I sat down for my first cup of coffee of the day, and all of a sudden the light came on. For God's sakes, for 2 years, I've had a brand spanking new Bounty Hunter metal detector up in the storage of my adventure trailer that I've never used. I ran to I wish I would have had the GoPro going because, man, I ran to the trailer, got in there.
That's something I'd like to see.
Got up on that Murphy bed, and I'm digging, and I found it, pulled it out, and I'm thinking, damn, I sure hope the batteries are any good. And yet, they weren't in it. They were in a separate pouch. I took 2 batteries out, popped them in there, turned it on, said 100% charge on the batteries. They're rechargeable 9 volts. Still had 100% in them, and they weren't charged. They were charged 18 months ago. So I'm trotting up the road to our pay station where the blades fell off with this metal detector, just happier than snot. 2 passes. Beep, beep, beep. There's the washer. 3 more passes, beep, beep, there's the bolt. Buried under those leaves, but that damn detector found them. So I bolted all of the things back on, and hey, look at there. Thank you, John and Jan. Oh, there they are. Hey, thank you. Yeah, my membership's dropped a little bit. I'm not complaining. I love my members anyway. All of them. If I had 1 member, I'd love them. Yeah, it don't matter.
Even if it was me?
Well,
kinda. We're going to say kinda. But anyway, I put them blades back on, and I thought, there we go. And I reefed on them. You couldn't. I was getting a little nervous because I thought I was going to bust my ratchet. I was reefing on it so bad. Okay, so I take off. Not even 5 minutes. The center blade falls back off. I was so pissed. Run it back to the campsite, get that blade back on, and I thought, I'm just going to mow my site first and so I don't have to run back and forth all the time. Make sure the blades are going to stay on. I didn't mow another 5 minutes, and that center blade fell off again. So I got a hold. I got a hold of the Forest Service, one of the rangers, and I said, "Hey, here's what's going on." And he said, I'm right there. I'm pulling in now." And he got out of his truck and he goes, "Okay, now explain this." I said, "Come here," because I hadn't picked up that blade and its parts. I said, "Look at the tractor." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Look behind it." And he looks behind it and he goes, "How did that get there? Why did you put the blade there?" I said, "I didn't put it there. The tractor put it there." And he goes, "Oh, God." I said, "Here's what you got to do. I'm going to give you the bolt. It's a 5/8 bolt. You're going to take that to the hardware and you're going to get me a good hardened spring lock washer. But I need 3 of them, 1 for each blade." And I said, "And by the way, give me a little tube of Loctite." I said, "They ain't coming off the rest of the season." He said, "You don't need to do that." So he calls one of his supervisors and tells him, "You need to go over here to East Twin and fix his tractor." So that guy showed up yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. By 4:45, he was done. And I managed to mow the whole campground and one of my boat landings before sunset. And that's why I ended up jumping in the lake. I was so filthy, freaking dirty from mowing them places. And my boat landing was like a freaking hayfield. At least that Simplicity is a tough tractor. It's got plenty of power. But dirty. Oh, hey, there's JV Outdoors. There's the man that gave me a new hat. He gave me 4 awesome fishing lures. And he gave me a personal Bible for at camp. The guy's great, man. JV is awesome. He shows up. He wanted to get together with Nicholas Green. So him and Nick were trying to figure out how they're going to meet up. Well, Nick was at my campground. And Nick asked me, he said, "I'm supposed to meet up with JV Outdoors. He's a new subscriber, and he's following you." And I said, "Well, why don't you just have him come to the campsite here? You're my guest. If you bring a guest to my campsite, I'm not going to complain." So JV and Section 8 Outdoors came to visit Nick Green and me, and he walks into the site and he says, "Sty, I got something for you." And he videotaped it, so I gotta watch JV Outdoors channel to catch that. But he brought me those gifts, and then he brought Nick some neat stuff. Awesome fishing lures, a new fishing rod, bait caster rig. And so he says he's gonna fish a little while he's there at my campsite. He goes down there he goes, walking out through the lily pads and the reeds, and he's wandering out in the lake, and I'm thinking, I haven't told him the story about Richard, the last guy that walked out there and never came back. I don't know if I'll leave the shoreline if I'm in my kayak, but walking out there where he walked, I'm just a little, yeah. Oh, thanks, Mystic Bunny. I am so glad you and John enjoyed yourselves. Hey, guys, watch this week. I got 3 videos going up. The first one is I take John and Jan to Wren Falls. Second one, I take them to Foster Falls. The third video, I take them to Potato River Falls. And then next week, you're going to see them at Morgan Falls, and you're going to see them at Copper Falls. And there's Nicholas.
Nick.
And then after my videos of John and Jan at camp, then I got the same types of videos, same locations, but with Nicholas Green and his buddy Travis. So watch for them. JV saying had a blast, bud. Can't wait to come back. I can't wait for you to come back, man. I wish we would have had more time. Him and Section 8, they had to get back to Section 8's because Section 8 lives in my neck of the woods. So he had to get back on the Flambeau River somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know he's only about an hour from me. So
Well, I mean, he's an hour for you. He's an hour for me.
He's more in your neck of the woods than me.
Oh, Sty.
Yes, ma'am.
I went to get my fishing license.
Uh-huh.
It only cost me $25. And it got fishing, hunting, trapping. I never have to pay again.
You got the sportsman
license, I never have to pay
permanent.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is you got this it includes everything and it's a one time deal.
Yeah, and only $25. I'm done doing that for the rest of my life. It's perfect.
I've got
$25.
Yeah. I've got one more year before I get to do something like that here in Wisconsin. I got one more year.
God, it was wonderful.
Well, there's an age thing with that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I got in an argument with a little bit of a tiff with the gal at a local state park. I said, "Give me the annual sticker. I'm tired of paying every time I come in here. It's $8 every time you walk in the damn door, kind of thing." And I said, "Give me the annual." Well, the last time I was in there, they said, "Senior?" Well, I don't know their damn rules. They're buyer beware, seller beware. And I said, "Yeah, sure." I didn't say, I qualify or nothing. I just said, "Yeah, sure." So I got in for $3. But this time I wanted the annual so I don't have to keep getting it. And she goes, "Senior?" And I go, "Well, yeah, if I qualify." And she goes, "No, you don't." She says, "I don't believe you're 65. I'm only about a half a year away from it." And she goes, "Come in on your birthday and you'll get it for $18 in annual. Otherwise, it's $28 today." So I paid her the $28, but I really wanted to pay her a piece of my mind. I tell you what.
Because that $10 is coming out of her pocket.
If she gets caught, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
oh, her job is safe. She's been there for like 23 years at Copper Falls. I can remember seeing her when I was young. That mean old bat.
Was it black and white in those days?
Most of the time. Unless you could afford one of those color TVs that were 19 inches, I think. Yeah.
I have a 70-inch waiting to be put up on my wall. Can you imagine?
A 70? Did you get a 70? Yeah, I went bought this 65.
Remember when we thought 25 was a big TV?
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my 65, I look at it and then I look at the 70s at the store and I go, I should have got a 70. I should have.
Well, here's the deal. At Christmas time, when they had, Walmart and everything were giving TVs more or less away for the prices. And so we bought two 65s. And they've been sitting in our shop because we've been waiting to do some remodeling and stuff, which they're presently doing. Well, my dad's TV went on the fritz, and he mismeasured his. So he had a 55, but when he told my wife it was a 50, so we went and put the 50 up. Excuse me, and it was too small. I mean, it just wasn't. I mean, he's used to his 55. And I look at my wife, and she looks at me, and I nodded, and she just shook her head. She goes, "Okay, fine.
Give him one of the 65."
She goes, "I'll give up my 65." So I run into town, get the 65, bring it in there, get it set up. We're gonna put it on his bracket. Well, you need special screws. He's the way to order those in. But now he's gonna get sunburnt when he's watching TV because.
Yeah. Hey, what's that guy doing?
So So I said, well, since we're messing with one, we might as well mess with the other. So I went and got the other one. We set that up in my wife's living room where she sits. And I got the 50, and then she goes, well, I might as well order it. So she ordered us for the same price as we paid for the 65s. We got a 70 curved. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. You
next year I'll be able to stream you on that and watch.
That'll scare the hell out of you, won't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him.
Yeah. Too bad.
You want to watch no horror movie?
You let me know when you do that so that I can, do that to you. Oh, there goes his pacemaker. It just shorted out.
What would Red say?
How to
Coming
control your
for them.
sugar. It's back there.
It's the big one, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yes. Oh, this is the big one. Oh,
that was funny.
No, I
What's up,
missed
E-Race?
Hey, Mike.
I missed the comment about the
There's a little ways up there.
Hopefully I can get to it here.
So I got a story. It's not quite as great as Chris's. Chris lives.
Go for it. It's story night.
And
it's top Chris's story night. If you get
this
top
won't
Chris's
count.
story,
So-
you get an award. You get a prize.
But this is a lucky guy. So one of the guys at our work, he works over in our used car department. He came down with COVID. Not very lucky, but he winds up in the hospital. Or I don't think he wound up in the hospital. They sent him home to just deal with the symptoms and whatnot and go back to work. So after 2 weeks of being home, he decided to come back to work, and he's just not feeling well. I mean, he is just, he has not really gotten over it, but he did his 2 weeks of quarantine and everything else. And of course, he's alone, so he doesn't have any additional money or anything else, but he's still just not feeling well. Well, he finally goes back up to the hospital, and they said he's got COVID pneumonia.
So it's in his lungs.
Yeah. So next thing you know, they're diagnosing him for this. They're running all sorts of blood tests and everything else for this poor guy. Well, they find out that he has some kind of lymphoma, cancer, something or other.
Oh shit!
So they find out. So it's at this stage that he's at, it's very treatable. So he came back into work after he got out of the hospital. I mean, boss had people praying for him before they found out that he had that as well, non-lymphomic cancer. I forget what it was. What do you call it? I don't remember that shit. But had he not gotten COVID, that would have probably continued to go through his system until
without him knowing.
Took him to the hospital, and he could have been stage 4 and terminal by the time they found out.
Yeah, true.
Because how single guys are. Single guys, even married guys sometimes, they can be in pain, they can be this, they can be that. They're like, I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need to see no doctor. Blah, 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 blah.
Doctors, if you're forced to.
Yep. And so he was telling us, and we kind of agree. He kind of felt lucky that all this happened to him, because otherwise he might, again, by the time they diagnose it, he could have been stage 4, been terminal, and
that's
So lucky for him. It was lucky for him.
Well, look at me with this obstruction I've got that I don't want them operating on.
I told you I'll come up there with my Swiss Army knife and the corkscrew and just
you can kiss my arse. But I kept telling them, no, you ain't going down my throat and testing that. You ain't going in there for no biopsy. And they kept saying, why? Because I don't want to know, man. Because if that was cancerous, that I knew damn well that would be pretty advanced, because of the symptoms. And when I finally gave in and let them do the biopsy, and they said, nope, it's a growth, but hasn't grown, and they're keeping an eye on it. And they said, and it's benign. So they said, you're okay, you're in good shape. And I just that's now that I don't mind hearing, but to find out that you've got a quite large growth, the odds of it not being benign were pretty good. You know, I've been smoking for 52 years, and yeah, it had me kind of nervous. I just really didn't want to know, you know, and but that's like you said, Phil. A lot of guys, it just
What's that? What's that in your fingers?
what I've been doing for 52 years. And I'm not going to quit. You could bitch and say how stupid I am in that, and I'll tell you to fuck yourself because it's my life, and I love to smoke. I love to smoke, and you'll never find a cigarette. And you'll never find a cigarette butt in my fire pit. I had my own Forest Service supervisor sit. He was at my campsite. And you can't smoke in Forest Service vehicles, so he was thrilled to get out and chat with me so he could have a smoke. And he flicked his damn cigarette butt in my fire pit. And I thought, I'll pick that out of there after he leaves. Well, he has a second one. He flips it in there. And I go, do that again, I'll kick you off my site. He goes, what? And I said, throw your cigarette butts in my fire pit. And he goes, really? And I reached in my pocket and I pulled out about 20 cigarette butts. And I said, every smoke I've had today is in this pocket and it'll go in the garbage and in that dumpster at the end of the day.
Do they not burn up?
No, they're full of toxins. Cigarette butts are full of toxins. The filters.
They don't burn up?
Well, burn one once and see what. It changes color, but it keeps its shape.
It does. Yeah, they don't really.
And you can tap on it; it'll break up, but you can see the fibers from the filter still, even after it's burned.
So they're a plastic fight. Yeah, that's why they don't.
They're full of fibers.
You're worried about the fibers in the fire, but not in your mouth, going in your lungs.
I don't let the filter burn.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I put it out before the filter's burning. But so anyway, so I picked those two butts out of the fire pit, and he goes, I hope you're not telling our campers they can't throw their cigarette butts in the fire pit. I said, I don't tell them that, but I bitch about it when I go clean their cigarette butts out of the fire pits after they leave.
Well, at least one good thing, they're in the pit, not everywhere else.
Right?
No. He goes, I know, okay, I get it. You know, he says, I understand. But if you rake the fire pit, yeah, you can't tell they threw cigarette butts in there if they burned up. And I said, here, now get this. I said, if it's okay for you to throw your cigarette butts in my fire pit that I want to broil a nice steak over, I'm coming to your fucking house and putting my cigarettes out on the burners of your stove. He goes, well, that's nasty. I said, why is it nasty to put my cigarette out on the top of your stove, but it's not nasty for you to throw that cigarette in my heat source to cook my steak? I said, get real. Get real. That's just like people that throw their cigarette butts in toilets and urinals. I want to go over to your house and piss in your ashtray.
I had something similar with the guys that are working here. They were, weren't doing too bad, but there were a couple butts and stuff around the sawhorses.
Hey, Camper 69.
And I more or less said something. He go, what's the big deal? I said, well, let's put it this way. For every butt I find, I'm going to scoop up a pile of shit and put it in the front seat of your car. Dog crap, and put it in the front seat of your truck. He says, I said, I don't smoke. You have dogs? No. Well, there, it's an even trade then.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep your dog shit. I'll keep I'll keep my dog shit. You keep your cigarette butts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right.
And he kind of looked at me. I said, I don't smoke them. I shouldn't have to clean them up.
Right. Well,
I tried that in the Marine Corps, and they didn't. I had to clean them up with the rest of the nasty smokers.
Well, that's because you're part of the crew at that time. One for all, all for one.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll tell you a little cigarette.
No man left
story.
behind, right? Or is that
that's right. Something like that.
I'll tell you a little cigarette butt story. Kids could be so damn smart, Okay, I was the director of a fairly large Native American housing authority. And we had this, where our offices were, we had this big playground and what we called the elderly center, where they had meals on wheels came out of there, and they could come there and eat in the dining room and blah, blah, blah. Well, it had a big parking lot. And I come into work. I always come into work about 6 o'clock in the morning at that time. I come in there, and I'm walking across the parking lot from where I parked, and all I see are cigarette butts everywhere. And I thought, damn it, I don't want to pay my maintenance guys that are making almost $20 an hour to go out there and pick up cigarette butts, damn it. So I caught a bunch of little kids out in the playground later that day, and I said, hey, guys, come here. You know, they're all about 10, 12 years old. I said, hey, guys, there's 4 of them. Come here. And they said, yeah, what do you want? I said, I'll tell you what. You go through that parking lot, and you pick up all the cigarette butts, and I'll give you a penny a piece for them. And they go, just a penny a piece? I said, yeah. And I said, my secretary will help you count them out when you're done. And I said, I'll bet you're going to make 10, 15 bucks. Easy with what's laying out there. They said, oh, okay. Just before we closed up shop that day, my secretary comes in and she goes, those boys are out here and they want to be paid up. And I said, oh, did you count the cigarette butts? She goes, yeah. I said, how much do I owe them? She goes, $46.50. I go, there ain't no way in hell. There ain't no way in hell. And she says, come out here and look. And well, she had this big conference table, and she had them all separated into piles. And she said, count them up. You know, each pile has X, Y, Z in them, you know. Added up, $46.50. I told them boys, I pulled out $45 out of my pocket. And I said, screw your $1.50. You get $45. Now, thank you. Now go away. Okay, so that's funny enough, right? All of a sudden, there's a knock on my office door, and I say, come on in. I had pretty much an open door policy. This elderly couple come walking in, and they said, we just got done with our dinner out there, and they said, you know, we have to compliment whoever you had cleaning the parking lot up of all the cigarette butts. And I said, oh, I just had 4 young kids doing that. And I gave them a few bucks for doing it. And they said, oh, but they did so much more. And I said, what? They picked up other garbage? They said, no. They went to every car and emptied every ashtray. You talk about one pissed off guy, man. I'm sitting there, you little frickin' con artists. You sons
They
of
weren't
bitches.
con artists. They were the cars.
I told them pick up the butts in the parking lot.
The butts were in the parking
lot. And
when
I cornered them a couple days later. I said, you little cons, you guys went and emptied all the ashtrays out of the cars in the parking lot. And they said, well, yeah. And I said, I told you to pick up the butts in the parking lot. And they said, those butts were in the parking lot, in the cars and the ashtrays. You know, and I learned raising kids, do not try to win a fight with a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, a verbal fight, because none of us have been a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old for so many years. They're professionals at being 10-year-olds. We're not. You know,
sound like a bunch of little Sty North is what they sound like.
Yeah.
Sounds like something you would have pulled, given the opportunity.
Probably. Hey, Rain Dancer, it's great to see you.
You've told us plenty of stories of your youth and some of the stuff you pulled. So
Yeah.
You got Sty.
Yeah, I don't.
You got Sty.
It's
Yeah,
called
I got tied. Yeah. Karma. Yeah.
Karma. Coming right back at you.
Yeah.
What's up,
Karma.
Rain Dancer?
Karma, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yatch. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoy my hosting job. I'm going to show you something real quick here.
No,
So-
no.
No, don't show us. We had enough last
Oh,
week.
come on. It's PG.
Oh,
But I think all of you, the panelists, is for sure, have seen my collapsed canopy I had
Mhm.
put up, and it crashed and trashed and nasty. Well, I replaced it because I was going to take that canopy and I was going to hang a panel in it and put a table in there and have like an information area for people that come to the campground to get information about the area trails and sites to see and stuff. I have an alternative. The Sty Shack. That little wooden Sty Shack sign I've had for years, and I got the Sty North flag on it. And that's a little information center with 6 chairs in there, a table, and it's working out awesome.
there you
It's
go.
working out awesome.
Yeah.
I had one evening when I came out of my trailer and I grabbed my lawn chair, and I right outside that shack is where I like to set my lawn chair, look right out over the lake. I kicked back with a cup of coffee, going to have a couple smokes, and here comes this husband and wife with 3 little kids. The one kid was just a 2-year-old, but their 2
Somebody
daughters
you can
were
relate to.
shut up. Their 2 daughters were between the ages of 6 and 9, and those 2 girls. Hi, JCT.
CT.
Those 2 girls. They're looking at that table of information. Their parents had each grabbed a couple of flyers and were sitting in a couple of the chairs reading them. And one of those girls comes out and she goes, "What's your name?" And I told her. She was just like 2 little girls 2 weeks earlier. She goes, "Mr. Sty, can we color?" Well, I got Smokey the Bear coloring books and crayons. And I said, well, that's what they're there for. Pull up a chair to that table and have at it. Those 2 girls sat there for 2 hours coloring in those color books while their parents are reading every pamphlet in there, and they're asking me questions, and I'm about 12, 14 feet away sitting out there just looking at the lake, and they'd Sty, what's it like at the Swedish settlement, and how bad is that hike? And it went so stinking well. It was pretty rewarding to have people come and just sit, and they got the information they wanted, trails they wanted to do, and their kids enjoyed themselves. Gave the kids Smokey the Bear whistles, and JV Outdoors, I gave him a Smokey the Bear head. It looks like a bust, of Smokey the Bear. And I don't mean Smokey's boobs, but
I'll take a set of those.
he set that bugger right on the dash of his truck. He was just thrilled. Well, I got these Smokey the Bear gaiters, neck gaiters.
I see one of those.
Nick Green and his buddy Travis were wearing those as masks one whole evening in my camp. I laughed so dang hard.
Hit it on
Yeah, John, I gotta get you a buff. I didn't get them until after they left. That made me mad. They brought me a nice big box full of Smokey the Bear regalia. The one thing they're not going to get me to do is put that suit on. No. I said,
I'll put it on for you.
I told them, I said, only paid Forest Service Rangers wear the bear suit. I ain't doing it. No way in hell.
Give you a
That
pound of
hot-
bacon. I'll give you a pound of bacon if you put it on.
Oh, Jesus. I'd lose a pound of bacon in about 10 minutes just from the heat. Yeah. So those guys, the Forest Service guys, are arguing over who's got to be Smokey the Bear this year. Yeah. Not me. Hey, neighbor girl. Good to see you, girl. You're having too much fun, Sty. Yeah, right. Well, I have to say I am enjoying doing this. I did have last night was one of the wasn't the worst situation I've had to deal with so far, but I wasn't too happy last night because I had a
Well,
camper.
time out. Are you ever really happy?
Yes.
Oh damn.
Yes.
I
just
mean-
not when you're present. That's
Well,
all.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I
I'm
just-
perfectly happy there, Chris.
I thought.
But-
I guess I always thought you were grumpy, not happy.
No, I'm a curmudgeon.
You didn't
he was calling me a curmudgeon for
He's
Like-
talking the dwarfs.
a whole
talking
year.
dwarfs. Talking dwarfs, you dumbass.
He's talking dwarfs. Grumpy, happy,
No.
sleepy, dopey, doc.
Fuck off! I'm happy. Damn it! Yeah. Get the dwarf straight. You
Out of all the
No,
dwarfs,
if anything,
he
you'd be
looks like
Doc
the
because he's
happy
the only one with the beard.
one, right.
No, right? No,
Doc, yes.
no. They
right?
gotta
No. Right? No. You're wrong.
No, I'm right. You said I was right.
No.
No, Dopey's the only
Hey,
one
Samantha, sweetie.
Dopey's-
Hi.
Dopey's the only one without any facial hair.
Hey.
All the rest have.
I was telling you about this guy that pulled in last night. He pulls in just before the sunset, right? It's getting dark. Got this great big ass trailer. He's pulling it with a big diesel truck. And I've got my very first site, number one, is a pull-in type of site, but it's not really designed to there's the why
Yeah,
is
they all
there
have
all
beards except for Dopey?
I think that's
Why
what I
is-
said.
And don't they all look like Sty? Come on, guys.
why are there 8?
I don't know.
You got the wrong fucking dwarf.
Bashful, Dopey, Doc. Doc's on there twice.
that's
Doc's on there twice. He's in the top right and
just
just
they only
below.
did that so they could fill up the sheet, right?
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah,
this guy pulls that trailer into a site that's really designed for a tent site, you know. And I walked up there to see if he was going to get in there without hitting a tree at all. And I helped him. I helped guide him in between these two big trees without dinging up his fancy new big RV trailer. He gets set up. He's out there leveling it, setting it up. And he goes, "What campsite are you in?" I said, "I'm down on number 6. And he goes, "Someone told me there's a camp host on 6. I said, "Well, I'm the camp host." I said, "My picture's out on the pay board when you come in. You can't miss it. There's a big ass picture. It says
Well, that doesn't scare anybody
your
away.
Right.
your camp host, Sty North." Well, it's Sty. They don't say Sty North, just Sty. And he goes, "Well, you're the most worthless son of a bitch I met this week. I've never seen this guy in my whole freaking life." And he says that to me. And I go, "And why would you say that?" And he said, "Because we don't need camp hosts in these campgrounds. The campers can run things just fine themselves." I said, I said, "Well, buddy, that's why you have a camp host now, is because people like you think you don't have to follow Forest Service rules." And he says, "No, we set our own rules, us campers." And I said, "Guess what? This is your day of reckoning." And I looked at my watch and I said, "You've been here 35 minutes. You're already out of compliance." He goes, "How am I out of compliance?" I said, "You had to pay for this site within 30 minutes of pulling into this site." I said, "You need to get your tail down to the pay station and come back with a receipt, or I'm going to boot your butt out of the campground." He says, "I'd like to see you boot my butt out." I said, "I can." Hot dial. I just, boom, hotkey it. And I say, "RG, I got somebody on campsite 1. You want to come and take care of it?" And I said, "You don't want to meet RJ." I said, "He's 6'7", weighs 267 pounds. and he's the meanest, nastiest looking bugger you ever saw. And he's a canine unit. He's got the nastiest looking German Shepherd you ever saw. And you talk to him the way you just talked to me, you won't be camping anywhere in the national forest for the rest of the year. And he goes, oh, so all of a sudden we have rules. I said, no, all of a sudden people are going to have to follow them. And I said, you don't need to talk to me as long as you follow the rules. I don't need to talk to you as long as you follow the rules. I said, and we'll get along just fine. I said, otherwise, I think you need to go find another campground. And he goes, well, this place just went all to shit. And I said, it'll be a much better place if you mosey on, go somewhere else. I'm not going anywhere. I said, how many nights you going to be here? I'm going to be here 3 nights. I said, good. You'll be here when I get back Thursday. I'll stop and check in on you. I couldn't believe that crap. He don't know me from Adam. And he said, it's a total waste of money us paying you hosts. I said, pay me? You don't pay. I said, I don't get any compensation. I get a free campsite. That's it. And he goes, yeah. You're riding on the shirt tails of all of us hardworking taxpayers. Lazy son of a bitch. He goes,
oh my gosh.
He says, you come in here and spend all summer living for free off of the Forest Service. I said, I've got a place in Ashland that I got to pay the bills, the rent, everything on, while I'm here cleaning your shit out of that outhouse.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So don't you start preaching to me that I'm here milking something, because no, I'm doing an awful lot for nothing. Hey, Matt, Jay, good to see you.
You want a clean shitter? You want a place where you can build a fire where it isn't all mounted up in the middle?
Yeah.
You want to show up to a campsite where the beer cans and the paper and all the stuff is cleaned up, so you can just come in. Yeah.
Yeah, I go down to Black River.
That don't happen.
I go down 30 miles down to Black Lake or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well, that I almost sent him down there because that guy, that was just a conversational thing going on. Travis had a mean, nasty drunk down there last week, and that drunk walked Travis off of his campsite and said, okay, now that we're out here in the main campground, let's get one thing straight. That campsite, I paid for it. It's mine. I make the rules on that campsite. And Travis is about half my size, and he got in that guy's face and said, being we're making things straight around here, he says, let's get this straight. That might be your campsite in your mind, but this is my campground. He says that anything that happens on your campsite that comes off of it, now it's my issue, and you're not going to act this way on my campground. And that guy finally backed down. But now I find out last night he had some campers getting a big ass fight down there, and I guess one campsite got all trashed and all the gear was left behind. They abandoned it and left. And he goes, now what? I said, call our soup up. He'll come right down here and they'll clear everything off that campsite. They'll confiscate it all. They'll just take it all. They've got the right. They got the federal regs behind them. They'll come and take everything that those people left there and haul it out, and it's going in a dumpster or given away to other campers, whatever. Out of there some damn quit, I would not have took that ever. Quit. Don't deal with ass monkeys at all. Yeah. And I was trying to give that guy the benefit of the doubt. I've got a site that's a walk-in only, and it's about the length of a football field. You walk through this awesome trail down through the woods, Comes out, it's a beautiful big tent site right on the lake. It's got awesome lake access, sandy off the lake access. You can swim, and it's secluded from all the other campsites. And it says, big sign, walk in only. It's a walk in site. I'm sitting there in the evening at my campfire, and all of a sudden I hear a Harley Davidson, and I see a headlight and tail lights going through the woods down that trail into that campsite. So there I go. I hike in there, and I walked in, and there's a fellow and his wife, and they're on a brand new Harley. That bugger's all fully dressed, just decked out. And I walked in, and I go, "Hey, folks!" And they, hi. They're just happy, and I said, "I hate to bring you bad news." And they said, "What's the bad news?" And I said, "That motorcycle cannot be in here. It has to get off this site. You can be in here, but that motorcycle's got to be parked out in its parking apron. You can't drive it in here." "Well, we've been coming here for the last 9 years and nobody's ever complained." I said, "There hasn't been a host in this campground in over 18 years. And that's why there's a host now, because campers were coming here and getting away with murder, doing whatever they want." And I said, "There's a reason why they don't allow motorized vehicles down here, because the whole trail going down is moss covered and it's softer ground. Vehicles will just tear it all up, you know. And plus, it's supposed to be a remote site." And I told them, I said, "Okay, they let you get away with it for the last 9 years. We can't do it anymore. I was specifically directed never to allow any kind of motorized vehicle down here."
I got a question. What if it's
Yes,
a powerized wheelchair?
Those don't count. That's an exclusion. If it's a health aid, then same with generators. We prefer that people be prepared if they need the generator for health reasons, and they can prove that it's for a health reason. We will allow them to run their generators past 10 o'clock at night. But we try we try to locate them in a perimeter campsite so that they don't disturb the whole campground with their Jenny. But if there's people that have medical equipment.
Well, no. I mean, most people are, if they're going out, they're going to be prepared.
Right.
They're well prepared.
And it's better than 9 out of 10. I'd say it's 99 out of 100 people. They've got deep cycle battery systems with inverters that run that equipment between 10 at night, 6 in the morning. Then they run their generator the rest of the day. You know, so that's usually not an issue. And power wheelchairs, yeah, they can go. They get stuck on one of those trails. I ain't towing them out. Yeah, you know, take it where it can be driven. You know, but now wheel life. I'd love to have him come and hang out with me for a while with his 4-wheel drive job, boy. That off-road wheelchair he's got, I'd hook a wagon up and have him pull me around. Ross Plunkett, it's good to see you. I'm doing well. And Native Grammy, sweetheart, it is awesome to see you. But so anyway, these guys with the motorcycle, he seemed pretty damn disappointed that he couldn't have his bike back there. And well, he wasn't aware. Nobody ever said anything for years. They always come to that campground a couple times every summer. And I told him, I said, if I waive the rule for you, you're gonna be fine. I might get in trouble, but you ain't gonna get in trouble. I said, but you can do one thing for me. I said, you see that nice thick hemlock tree there? I said, and that nice grassy area on the backside, that's all solid ground. I said, run your bike around the picnic table there and park it behind that hemlock. And you can walk all the way down that damn trail and not see that motorcycle until you're all the way in the middle of the campsite and look around that hemlock. I said, park it there, and it's out of sight and out of mind, and you guys enjoy your weekend. You know what that guy said to me? I had that asshole last night that I'm the most worthless fucking thing that I ever said. This guy with the motorcycle, he goes, you know, you're being so understanding. I'll put the bike out at the road. He says, I'll take it out and park it at the road. That's okay. If that's the rule, I can do that. I'll just take it out to the road. And I said, no, I just told you I'm going to allow you to keep it at your site for this trip. But now next time you come, you know you got to park it out there. But for this weekend, just keep it right here. And his wife,
Zach,
she looked at me and shook her head, and she said, you're going to have to do some convincing, because whether he likes it or not, he's going to want to do what's right. And especially when you didn't jump down his throat, you didn't treat him like he's an ass or something. And I said, well, I said, I don't know you guys. Why would I think he's an ass, you know?
So
I have
18 years, there hasn't been a host there. So people have just been able to come and go as they please. I mean, obviously, Forest Service guys would probably come by every now and then.
Every 2 days, someone from the Forest Service would come and do a drive-through,
right,
and put up reservation signs for sites that were reserved and pull the money out of the box. But they figured they were losing about 40% of the camp fees because people weren't paying their camp fees. They had their schedule figured out, so they'd come in and stay the night before the forest rangers show up. They knew the forest rangers never show up before 10 o'clock in the morning, so pack their gear up and get the hell out of there. They had a free night. And that's what was happening constantly. They said this year so far, we've only had one squatter. I've only had one squatter that snuck out on me. But I just go around and I look for their receipt. If it's not on the post, I walk right up, look in the windshield of their vehicle. If it's not there, I say, oh, I think you forgot something. You got to run down and pay for the night and get that receipt on the dash of your car, or hang it on the hook on the post. Oh, yeah, we forgot. We'll do it right away. And I tell them, yeah, I'll just walk back through and check up on you and remind you again if you forget. Never had an issue with anybody. They just, yeah, okay, we'll take care of it. And they do. They take care of it. And it's like anything else in life. If you're treated okay,
right,
and reminded that, you know, you got to do this or that, you'll do it, you know. Yeah, so I just don't have issues with people like some of the other hosts have.
Well, you can't be confrontational. There's you know, just like in my job, there's a way to talk to people and there's a way not to talk to people.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. And the thing is that, like that guy last night, I knew right away he was itching for a fight. You know, he wanted to make damn sure I knew I was the worst thing in the world and that I shouldn't be there and blah, blah, blah. And so I just shut him down and just told him, hey, it's because there hasn't been a host that there is one now.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. And I don't get paid to be here. So I told him flat out, I don't need any BS from anybody. It doesn't matter who the camper is. I'm just here to keep an eye on shit. The guys that can actually do something, they're a phone call away.
They're a button away.
And I tell them flat out, you would be better off dealing with me than them, because they got a ticket book and they're not shy about writing citations. And if they write a citation in our district, they write you a citation. That's the first thing that happens. Second thing is they stand there while you pack your shit up and get out of that campground.
What's up, Yoran?
Yoran, great to see you, buddy. Yep, everything's good with me. I tell you what, that's one of the best benefits is my health has been pretty damn good this last 5.5 weeks.
Oh, that oxygen.
That and being active constantly, always doing something, always being active. And I know a lot of people said, well, you're going to get tired of doing that work and those chores, Actually, I don't. I enjoy it, man. I get to walk through both of my campgrounds and I clean up the fire pits and stuff.
Like you take pride in your job.
And I get enjoyment out of it, man. Up at Beaver Lake, I was cleaning out a fire pit that the Forest Service was supposed to clean out a year ago.
That explains everything. He's right next to Beaver Lake. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I like to visit Beaver Lake at least 4 times a week. Yeah.
Beaver Divide and all that other place. Yeah.
What is it to be a campground host if you don't get at least a little beaver once a week?
That's right.
But I was up there cleaning out a fire pit, and all of a sudden I felt something on the side of my leg, and I jumped back like, what the hell? And here's a stinking chipmunk climbing my leg.
Oh.
And I thought, you little bastard, that's far enough, man. And I swatted at him, and he jumped down. He just sat there, and the bugger jumped up on the barbecue grate of the fire pit while I'm shoveling out the fire pit, and he watched me through the whole process. And I thought, that's pretty cool. That this stupid monk is not scared of me, and I'm just doing my chores, but that makes it interesting, Hey, Gary Two Sellers, good to see ya.
We were just wondering if those nuts were going to get any lower. He could grab a hold of them.
That's right, yeah. Oh, he brought me a couple of nuts. See, Jan brought this huge ass bag of peanuts. Nuts? She brought this huge bag of peanuts, right? Unsalted peanuts. And she was throwing them all around their campsite. Well, on the day they went home, they stopped over at mine, and she comes walking up with that bag, starts flinging handfuls of those peanuts all out down the hill from my camp kitchen, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to have 5-pound monks around here with all them peanuts out there. And for 3 days, she said, Adventures in the Heartland, that's her. She said, yes, I did. But for 3 days, 2 monks, they come in there, they're whole shelled peanuts. And it's hilarious to watch them trying to shove that whole peanut in their mouth, every angle, and they're just doing it. Then they'll finally bite it in half and stick half in each cheek and run off. And I feed them pretzels, and it's funny to watch them try a full long pretzel for a while and then bite it in a couple pieces. But those peanuts, that was hilarious, man. But yeah, I got critters all over my campsite. I got Nicholas Green saw a snowshoe rabbit that I had mentioned. He had seen a cottontail go through, and he goes, oh, no, that ain't a snowshoe. That's a cottontail. I said, well, no, I got a couple cottontails that come around, but the snowshoe, there's a couple of them. They'll come through. Sure enough, they came through, so Nick got to see them. I've got the monks. I've got hummingbirds up the yin-yang. I got a robin building a nest right between the screen house and my camp kitchen, and she comes down and she's fetching worms and crap going straight to the nest. You sit there and you watch her, and I got the loons. They come right up to the shoreline by my campsite, and it's like they come in every couple of days just to visit. I've got a nesting pair of trumpeter swans. It's fun to watch them chase the Canadian geese off the lake. That big Drake, he hates them Canadian geese, man, with a passion. So it's it's always something interesting. And then when it rains out, I watch a movie or I play PlayStation in the adventure trailer. So it's the best of all worlds, except for not having Starlink yet.
All right, Sty. Well, mosquitoes are starting to feed on me, and I need all the blood I can get. So I am going to head in.
You don't need to be anemic.
So, all right,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks
y'all
for
later.
telling your story, buddy.
Yep.
You
glad
take
you're
good
doing
care of
good.
yourself too.
Oh yeah, I will. You know that. So we'll be in touch shortly.
Okay.
Probably next week sometime. Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay.
We'll see how the things go.
Just remember, from Wednesday morning until about noon on Thursday, I'm not there.
That's the best time to be there then. Okay, got it.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'll have fresh ice in the cooler so you can put the leftovers in the cooler for me.
Okay, we'll do. All right, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah, I could stand to have Chris come out and make his hobo stew when he's out there. Yeah, he makes a great hobo boiled dinner over the campfire.
That's
It's tasty. Hey guys, let's take a moment. I gotta run this. It's been 2 weeks, and these people all deserve a big cheer. Check these channels out, guys. They're my members. They're awesome folks. And add to that list Adventures in the Homeland, because they just, or Heartland, Homeland, Heartland. Home is where your heart is, right?
That's right.
So yeah, that works. So here they are. This takes 1 minute. Don't go anywhere, folks.
He went somewhere.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Chopped liver. He ain't nothing but chopped liver.
Mm-hmm.
So how's it been going for you, Granny? I've been
going
thinking about you. Is it going better?
Yep. As of yesterday, it's going much better.
Oh.
Got plenty of choices I can make now because the city told me I can set the trailer. I call it a trailer. They call
Right.
it a white.
Modular.
Right. I can set it sideways facing the bank, and that's not going to be a problem.
Oh, cool.
Because see, my lot's it's only 60 foot wide.
Right. And you want to put it on the lot where it fits the best.
Yeah, and if I want to get something decent sized, I could only go 44 feet. Well, that's not big enough.
No.
So this will make it a lot easier and give me a lot more choices.
Okay.
Started some
Okay,
stuff.
Yoran. Go get your coffee. I'm going to have to get coffee in about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to wait till Goofball comes back, But that's good. That's good.
I had gotten really discouraged. I was kind of at my lowest just a few days ago, and then talking to that guy yesterday helped tremendously.
That's good. That's good. And that's it. Is you just want to be able to get reestablished, and all these little you can't do this or you can't do that thing. It's just so discouraging.
Yeah.
Hey, scrapping together.
Just want to go home.
Yeah. So old chopped liver over there. He had posted in our group on Facebook. Oh Jesus!
And now a word from our 45th President of the United States. Hello, Sty. It's very good to see you. Most of us have missed you tremendously, and we are so happy that you have returned.
That's okay with you, Donald.
I was going to
Granny,
say
you're looking lovely this evening.
he's more like the 40 turd president. Look at that sky.
I've been watching in the chat, and you've been doing an amazing job, Sty. You have a tremendous channel, and I am so happy that you're doing well.
Are you going to sponsor me?
I do have to be careful of where I spend my billions of dollars. You know the Democratic Party. They watch every penny that I do, everything that I do. They're very watchful over me.
Oh yeah. In that case, go ahead and keep your money. I don't want them watching me.
Very good.
Yeah.
I understand that anyone that I endorse is suddenly become under the microscope, and we do not want that for our friend Sty North. I completely understand.
Yes. I don't. Yeah. I tell you what, the only thing worse than coming under the scalpel is coming under the microscope of the Dems. That's the only thing worse than coming under the scalpel. Yeah. Mayberry says it's not in the budget. Oh, got your truck fixed and something else broke on it. Yeah, poor Travis at Black Lake Campground, he was so happy he finally got his Forest Service truck. They give him this big 3/4 ton Dodge Ram that had a snow plow package on it. Well, they used it for several years as their plow truck. So really it looks good, but that thing got beat, And he's only had it for about a week, maybe a little over a week, but he messaged me this evening and said, my truck has to go to the shop. And I'm like, whoa, what now? And he said, it's throwing at least one of the U-joints in it.
Oh, no.
He said, you put it in gear and it just bang. And he says, you coast and you got pressure and then no pressure against that drive line. You can hear it clank, 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 I said, yeah, that don't sound good. Better get it to the shop before the drive shaft drops out of it, because then it's going to be a bitch. Yeah.
Rain dancer.
Good night, Rain Dancer.
Good night, Rain Dancer. Thanks for being here. The scrapping together. Where's my stimulus check, old man? Yeah. Somebody mentioned earlier that so many people bought big TVs with their stimulus checks. By the time I got my stimulus, there weren't any TVs left to buy unless you wanted a little 24 or 26 inch. Otherwise, all the big flat screens were gone. Walmart was wiped out. Everybody was wiped out.
I hope you guys are all enjoying your freaking TVs, because they don't have enough microchips for cars, you assholes.
Yeah. And I wondered about that. Everybody was buying laptops and TVs and everything, and all the microchips they take for those. And then all of a sudden, we don't have any microchips for our cars.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to stay home now and watch those TVs and be
They have to put in bigger than normal orders to get microchips to replace those TVs that were bought up in that period of time. If they have to make more, they can't make. They can't continue to do all that. These microchips that these companies make aren't just for cars. Those same companies make them for everything.
I'd just rather have a car than a TV.
Yeah. Well, my
$600,
my stimulus all went to bills. I mean, It's I'm trying to get myself to the point where I don't have any debt left, and so I used it for that. And the majority of it, I set some aside for Starlink. And
I was thinking ahead. Going to have to get a house. I'm going to have to pay off some bills.
right, 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 and that's it. You know, some of these people, man. I was just watching at Walmart one day when they came out with that, the first one. You know, what was it, $600? Yeah, the very first one, and there was a line of about 50 people into their service counter area, and they're all standing there holding their stimulus checks. They're going to have Walmart cash it for them. So I just kind of hung around, kind of watched some of these people, and tried to remember certain ones that stood out. And sure enough, within 20 minutes, here they are at the cash out. They're at the register. All these items that none of it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's all just toys, you know. And I'm thinking, are you people nuts? Are you nuts? Yeah. I felt so good paying down some bills that the running water told me, he says, you should have kept some of that for fun because now you're broke. I said, well, I was broke before I got it. So nothing changed except fewer bills, you know?
Fewer bills, so it gives you a little bit more money that you have access to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I finally, this week out at camp, I won't have any mowing to do, so,
No.
and we're gonna have rain days. We got storms coming tomorrow, and so I'll be stuck in my trailer. Good time to do some housekeeping, rearranging. I'm contemplating the possibility of getting a storage unit this fall, taking everything out of my trailer and putting it in the storage unit, putting the trailer up for sale or trade, and getting a conventional camper trailer. Being that I'm going to keep hosting, the Forest Service already approached me and they said, we'd really like to know if you're going to host again next year. I said, hell, let me find out what this year's like first.
Right.
And they said, well, you've had over 5 weeks. What do you think? I said, yeah, the easiest 5 weeks of the year.
Haven't had to kick anybody's ass yet.
That Memorial Day was my busiest day, you know, or my weekend, you know, and did you like the raccoons the man had so many? That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Kathy, she sent me that post. This guy,
that one.
yeah, just surrounded with them coons. Holy God.
Yeah, I think I've seen videos from that guy before. They come up right up on his porch, he feeds them, and
Yeah. It's all right until you get one that's rabid, you know. We had a camp host. Last year. They were telling me all about him, that he had a rabid raccoon. In this campground. And our law enforcement officer from wildlife had to come out there, and they had to shoot the damn thing. It was attacking anybody.
wow.
People were hiding in their vehicles, tent campers are hiding in their vehicles, and the thing would try to climb right up on their vehicle and try to get them through the windows. And yeah, and then they shot him, tested him. Yeah, he had rabies. Yeah. And they said that's the first time they had a rabid coon in their campground in as far as they could remember. And I told them, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll either bong them with a shovel or shoot shovel and shut up. One of the two.
Well, Sty, I gotta run. I'm tired. It's been a long day. So
Okay. It was so good to see you, sweetheart.
it was great to see you. So you guys
You
have
take You take good care of yourself.
See you,
And
Granny.
hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday.
yeah. Night, Spicy. Night, everybody in chat.
Night, Granny.
It's good to see her. And to hear that things are still working out, you know.
Well, I heard she got news, I think it was today or yesterday, that she can put her place in. She can turn it. So she's got, things are moving ahead now. So,
Yeah. The what's Mayberry saying? Everything spicy. Where do y'all be finding all these bears that I've
where are
yet to
you at,
see any of them
Mayberry?
in the stores around here?
I mean, mine is a Michigan company. Mine's out of New Holland. It's out of Michigan. But there are plenty. I'm sure, if they can find them in freaking Arkansas where Jimmy lives, you can find them anywhere. Maybe different names and different brands, but
Yeah. I wonder, I would believe that just about any state in the union has microbreweries and specialty beers that they make within that state. I know Wisconsin's full of them. I mean,
sure. And we've got a lot of them too. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the size of New Holland is going outside of the state of Michigan. But I mean, I've seen Travis drinking Dragon's Milk. I've seen, which he's in Texas.
Right.
The guys in Maryland drinking Dragon's Milk, and they're in Maryland. So I mean, it's Dragon's Milk you should be able to find where you're at. So
yeah,
McTubis Dragon's Milk is good stuff.
Go ahead.
And it's 11% APV or ABV on it. So it's some potent stuff without being nasty. It's funny because now I've gone back to like my Michelob Ultra. I went did something the other day and I had about 5 of them. And it's like there's like no flavor to those things. When you get those near beers that are really low on carbs and really low on calories, they're really low on taste too. Right.
I had a beer just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that one of the campers gave me.
You're saying that, yeah.
And it was one of those beers that they don't filter the yeast in the process. And when you look through get some light through it and you look at it, it's just a slight bit cloudy from the yeast still being in it. But oh my God, was that a rich flavor? Man, was that it? Yeah, it was totally different. I've never drank a beer made that way before, and it was pretty good alcohol content. I think it was 8.5. Yeah,
good content.
But it was such a good tasting beer. Hey, Mick the Best.
Well, that's just it. Again, I've spent a lifetime drinking, Budweiser, then moving to Bud Light, then moving to Michelob Ultra. I mean, that's pretty much what I've done my entire life. And when I decided I was going to, get off the wagon but be responsible, I decided to try something different. So with these, I can drink a couple, 2, 3, and I'm good to go. I don't have to pee as much. They got more flavor. You drink them slower,
Yeah,
and you can sit and enjoy them. The other ones, it seems like you almost seem like you have to drink them quick.
That's it. Is these mild beers? It's like I don't know. Yeah, you drink them like you're dying of thirst. You're just hammering them down one after another, just hammering them down. And I've gotten to that point now where I just can't drink things fast like I used to. So I like good beer where my last swallow out of it is cool, It's not cold anymore, but it's still cool. You know, I don't want no warm beer.
I don't know what's wrong with people sending me stuff. I don't know if you can make this out or not. Oh, now I know what she's saying.
Oh yeah, Carol,
Carol
motherfucking basket.
That's crazy and sending me shit.
That's that. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, with that voice, at first I didn't make it out, but then when you held it up there, then I caught it right away. Carol, motherfucking Baskin.
oh,
Look at her; she's out in the chat laughing her butt off. Yeah,
laughing her butt off.
laughing her butt off. I was watching her playing. What the hell was she
Call
playing?
of Duty.
Call of Duty. Yep. Watching her this afternoon. I didn't chat or anything because she was having a hell of a time with people distracting her while she was playing. So I just watched. I didn't want to distract her at all, but it was fun to just watch for a change because I was able to watch that while I was editing videos.
I got you.
I am I don't even want to go down that road, but I'm so pissed off at Filmora right now.
Oh.
That I had one video I posted. Now that part of that problem, a small part was Filmora. The other part was YouTube.
Oh. It
shows up, says it's 18 minutes long, and you only get to see 2.5 minutes of it, and it goes right to the end. It's over. And they screwed that up. So I'm remaking it, going to repost it. So people see it and they'll go, well, I've already watched that. So I don't know. I just want a clean, full version up there that people can see the whole thing. But every video I've done in the last 2 months with Filmora, I'm uploading. Well, okay. I'm downloading off my camera, and it's at high def. I play it off of its file, right off of the hard drive I'd loaded on, and it's crisp, clean, awesome. Looks like $1 million. I render it through Filmora, and it looks like shit. And what I've been doing with Filmora is the settings. I set it for the quality of the file,
right?
Not what they suggest. I set it for the quality of the actual file. So if it's 1080p at 60 feet per second, that's what I'll set it as in Filmora, and it comes out like it's crap. Standard definition's better, and I checked. I got all the updates, everything on Filmora, and I thought, okay, let's just try it standard definition. So I cranked it down a bit and did one. Same problem. Come out crappy as hell off of Filmora, and I thought it must be this computer. So I tried it on a different computer. Then I tried it on my laptop. All 3 spots, same problem. So now I'm doing my editing. You won't believe it, from an ancient editing software, Movie Maker.
Really?
And it's standard definition, but it's literally 4 or 5 times better than what I'm getting out of Filmora right now.
Really?
Yep. So I'm very frustrated. You pay for the software, and to have it glitch up on you that bad. And I messaged their support to ask what was going on, and they recommended that I reload it, just totally delete it off my computer, and then reload it. So I did, and I rendered a video. Same damn thing. Same damn thing. So, but I'm okay with for now at least, because that means if I'm going to use Movie Maker, I can do it all on my laptop right at camp, so I can have a nice string of videos ready to post when I get here on Wednesdays. I won't have to do any editing here. It'll all be done at camp. So it's all coming out in the wash, but it was so frustrating.
Yeah, I watched a thing a long time ago with when I first started with Daniel Batal or whatever his name is, and I went in and adjusted the settings. I think it kind of always defaults to that, and I don't know if that's the best thing, but it seemed like you had to adjust it to and I don't know how to explain that to you how to do it.
Right.
But you may need to watch a video or two. Maybe there's some settings in Filmora that you can adjust that will make it takes a hell of a lot longer. I will tell you that when I have the settings that way, it takes it forever to export or to save.
Uh-huh.
But the video is clear.
But see, yeah, and I don't remember who it is. I'd have to look it up. But
Mike?
Yeah. Good night, Mike. Hey, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming up on panel. You.
yeah. Thanks a lot for coming on up.
Piece of shit.
Oh, buddy. But I watched a video on what are the best settings for Filmora, and I followed that guy. It took me about 45 minutes because I watched about 10 seconds of what he's telling me, and I watched everything he set and made sure all my settings were that way.
Okay. So you've done that.
I might try it again and see if any of those settings maybe one of Filmora's updates defaulted some of those back.
That's those updates we get there. I mean, half the time I get updates on my iPhone, I think it's screwing with me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's updating to make things worse instead of better, so you get the next newest phone, right?
Right. I've always got that suspicion myself, Yep.
Conspiracy theory.
Good night, Rebecca.
Night, Rebecca.
Oh, take it easy, Mike. Don't be getting no heat stroke, man. That shit'll kill you.
or at least make you stroke out.
Yeah, it'll
Almost
screw
bad.
you up. Oh shit, that's one thing I've learned.
Prepper?
Hey, Dutch Prepper, good to see you. That's one thing I learned out at camp, man. It gets that miserable hot, man. I got lots of shade at my campsite, and I don't have to chase it. It's always a good patch of shade somewhere, and I'll plop my chair down wherever the breeze is coming from, face into it, and kick back. And people will stop, and they'll say, "Hey, come here," and I'll go, "No bullshit, you come here." Yeah, I ain't moving in this stuff. It's hot. Yeah. Hey, Dutch Prepper. That's cool. Hello, Sty and Chopped Liver. You did see your name, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw my name. I don't know when you changed it, but it was shortly after I must have used, "Who am I, Chopped Liver?"
Yeah. It was shortly thereafter. I just wanted to confirm that you are,
I was there. Oh, I was doing the Trump thing last night on someone else's channel, so I had to change it before I came out here because someone had changed it to everything Trump. So I think I got a review coming with the wig on. I just got to work on my, what I'm doing,
That's that should be good. That should be good.
So we'll see.
Oh man, reviews. I got 3 pieces of, I guess you call them survival gear, I got to do reviews on.
Well, that's cool.
And I was going to do one last week, but it was so freaking hot, and it was like, I got to do this when it's comfortable, and doing reviews, you got to be just in the right mood, But yeah, that video that's screwed up, you can only see a couple minutes of it, was what I do in a typical day of maintaining the campgrounds, cleaning all the crappers and doing reservations and stuff. And it was a good video. There's a spot in there at Beaver Lake Campground. I was cleaning the last restroom there, and I had left the driver's door open. I had to open it to get into the back door of the truck, and I left it open while I put a couple of pieces of gear away in the box of the truck. I get back to that driver's door, and I got it on the GoPro. Hundreds of skeeters. They're all around that door. They're all in the cab of my truck. And I think I said, yeah, I think it's time to get the hell out of here and get these skeeters out of my truck. I was going down that gravel road about 50 miles an hour. It's a nasty gravel road, but I had all four windows down and just doing about 50 with the air cranked all the way up just to blow the skeeters out of that damn truck.
Well, Nicholas came over here with all these mosquito bites all over him and whatnot.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, he said, well, they don't even bother Sty.
No.
I said, Sty's got the natural smoker going, keeps them all the way.
That's good. Yeah. I got bit, but nothing like him.
Yeah.
I mean, they saw Nick and they go, oh, he looks tasty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boy, they loved him. And I liked hiking with Nick. You just go ahead, take the lead, and I'll follow behind, and all the skeeters go after him, and I got a nice clear path. That ain't right, but
right.
But it works. Now John is the same way. That bugger would get ticks on him. He'd get skeeters were just eating him alive. The flies went after him. Good night, James. But but poor John. When we went to Copper Falls, that video won't come up until after I'm back next week. But out at Copper Falls, there's a sign on this little store they got there that says insect repellent recommended on trails. And both Jan and I agreed, or bring John with you. Because they'll all go after him, they'll leave you alone. And that's the way it was. Oh, did Nick tell you about the wood ticks?
No.
Oh my God. I should have filmed it. But I didn't want to embarrass my friend, We went into this falls, Foster Falls, and there's a lot of tall grass on the trail going back in there. When we came out, got in the truck, and we're heading down the road, all of a sudden he holds his arm up, and there's a big old tick walking down his arm, walking up his forearm. And he goes, look at that! Oh my God, stop the truck! And his buddy Travis in the back seat, he goes, oh, Sty, there's one on your headrest of your seat. And I go, really? And I started, yeah. And Nick's like, oh my God, no, what the hell are you doing? Stop the truck. I stopped the truck. He flew out of that frickin' truck, and he's checking himself all out. And he ended up finding 4 that were crawling on him. And his buddy Travis, I think he found 3. I had 2 on me, crawling on me. And the funniest part was I got the one off the headrest of my truck, threw him out. And we were pretty confident. We got them all, Let's get back in the truck and go to this other waterfall. We get to the other waterfall, and I told them boys, I said, I'm not doing this, sucker. I did it with John and Jan. There's over 200 stairs. I am not hiking them damn stairs twice every week. No, I ain't doing it. I said, I'm going to sit up here in the shade, have a nice cool drink, and relax while you boys go see the falls.
Sure. Okay.
So while they're hiking the falls, and they're due back real soon, I went to the truck to get something. I had drank up what I had, and I was going to get something else to drink, and I opened the door. Right there on Nick's seat, there's a big-ass tick crawling. And I go, oh, you are so lucky he didn't see you. I got a hold of that tick and pitched it out and closed the door, and I thought, all of a sudden the light came on, what Nick told me. He said, Sty, you don't know how lucky you are. You got me back in that truck. He said, if I find a tick on me or in the vehicle I'm in, I will get out of that vehicle and not get back in it. You'll have to go get a different vehicle and come back with it, pick me up. Because I won't get back in a vehicle where I seen ticks. And I thought if he would have seen that big sucker just crawling across the seat, he would have just said, no, I'm staying here until Travis comes back with his car. You know?
I think he said when he was on Lake Michigan, he went out to an area where it was like he walked out there and it was like black. He thought it was like black sand, and it was just fleas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I've gone out there several times, Silver Bear Dunes and different places. I've never seen anything like that out there.
We got into some sand fleas this year.
Well, you said your sand fleas were like this. I'm thinking I always thought sand fleas were
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there's itty bitty.
Yeah, sand fleas are itty bitty, for all I know. Yeah.
No, fleas, even the big fleas aren't big.
You tell me sand fleas like this, and I'm like,
oh, I don't think they're sand fleas.
Oh, that's something else.
Some other
I think
critter.
that's what he was talking about with you, because I brought up the whole sand fleas thing that you had a problem with. He's like, there's sand fleas this big, and I'm like, I'm not going to argue with anybody because I'm not an expert on anything,
Right, right. But I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, you're saying that's what was out there with you guys. Sand fleas, from what I understand, are so little they're hard to see, but you feel them,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Oh, they bit the living hell out of me and that Forest Service ranger. That ranger got it so much worse than me. That poor guy, he shows up the next day, and I told him, I said, damn, I thought I had freaking bed bugs, man. I woke up this morning all bit up, and I brought them suckers into my trailer, so I went and got a fogger that kills anything, fleas, anything. And I used that, and I said, now it seems like they're not there. And he goes, did you get bit up this bad? And he pulls his shirt sleeve up. I just freaked out. It looked like he had been bit by about 500 mosquitoes. Wow. His arm, he looked like he had the measles. And it was bad. He says, sand fleas bit the living hell out of me. Well, it was because we were laying in that sugar sand underneath my truck for 2 hours working on it. And Mayberry, they will. I mean, they bit the living hell out of both of us.
I don't know in Michigan either.
I was wearing, shorty sports socks, not full length socks, right? Like crew socks or anything. Just shorties. All around the ankle band of those, and up about, I'd say 3 inches. Just bit up, man. It's just my ankles itch so freaking bad. I was scratching them till they were bleeding, man. They were just so bad.
How do you lay there and let them bite you like that when you're doing that shit? I don't understand.
Well, I didn't feel anything biting me until that night.
Oh, really?
When I got back to the trailer and I crawled into the bunk, and it was a cold night. And I crawled into that sleeping bag, and then about an hour later, all of a sudden, something's freaking biting me. And I didn't notice anything when I went to bed, but I was wearing those shorty socks because it was damn cold. And I realized anywhere where my skin was exposed, they bit the shit out of me. And when I did that fogger, I had opened up that sleeping bag, and I used those big metal office clips and clipped them to the ceiling of my trailer. So that sleeping bag was hanging in the middle of the trailer. And I thought, I want every square inch of that bag fumigated, man. And it worked. The next night, not a single bite. I'd never got a bite since then. So that I've got 5 of those foggers still available, just in case, because they are nasty.
Well, we had regular fleas in our house back when when we first got married. I think I've told this story before. So in case I'm being my grandpa,
Sure.
But we came back from being somewhere like on a vacation for a day or two, and someone was letting our dog out and everything else, and he had brought fleas into the house, and we walked in and got to a certain part of our house, and suddenly like our legs were full of these little black fleas coming up our legs. Like, I mean, it was an infestation of these things. So it was like, all right, well, the dog, everybody back out of the house. Of course, we had probably 2 or 3 little ones at that time. Everybody back out of the house. We go up to the store. We buy these bombs. We open up all the cabinet doors in the house. You open, you got to open up everything up.
Everything.
The house. You set these bombs off, and it's like, it's just all this stuff coming up, all this chemical and everything else. And then, of course, once you come back, the next day, now you got to go through everything and wipe and sanitize everything.
Everything.
But it worked. It got rid. I mean, the first time it got rid of everything.
Yep.
That's the worst thing I can remember. It's like for some reason I felt dirty because it was able to infest my house like that. And it was like, we had a shaggier carpet then. We don't, everything we got now is like, these
a shorter nap,
shorter stuff that you got nowadays. But it was like, it was so bad. It was like,
I remember as a kid, our dog, we just had a small terrier. And I was sitting on the couch. I don't know. I was about 9, 10 years old at the time. And that dog jumps up on the couch and comes over and gets on my lap. All of a sudden, I see bing, 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 bing. Them freaking fleas are jumping off the damn dog.
Really?
Yeah. Them little fuckers can boing. They can jump about 6 inches. Ding, 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 ding. And I yelled, Mom, Mom! There's bugs jumping off of the dog. She come in there. She ran her hand against the grain on the dog's back. Frickin' fleas all over the damn place.
No.
And she's yelling at me, get that dog outside. Get it outside. Tie it up. You stay out there too. She made me strip completely down as she handed pieces of clothes out the back door to me. You put those on. You strip down over there. You come over here by the door, and I'll hand you clothes. And that was in the 60s.
Wow.
And they didn't have the bombs like we got now. No. And
you had homemade remedies?
And well, what they called in a exterminator.
Oh, okay.
And they come in there and sprayed at the whole frickin' house. And that was a bitch. It took us I'd say it took us a good 2, maybe 3 days wiping everything. You had to wash everything. Coffee table, end tables, the television. You had to wash everything because it had that chemical all over it.
Sure.
And then the dog, he recommended a veterinarian to us, and they took that dog and quarantined that dog and treated the dog. And
quarantined the dog.
And we got the dog back, and that poor dog was all bit up from them, but no fleas. But that was, after that, my whole life, I said, man, I do not want to have to deal with them frickers. And then I end up with them out at camp. Yeah. But not as bad as that Ranger, though.
Now, question. You're out staying out there. Can you get a sprayer and spray your area for anything?
I can use the same,
spray for
stuff that you
mosquitoes,
can buy. Anything you
Okay.
can buy in the store,
You can
like
use
those
it.
yard foggers
Okay.
and stuff like that. I could use those too. Yeah. But at my campsite, I haven't found a need. I got
Except for
40.
except for those.
I've got
You know.
the fleas I brought, to the site.
Oh,
'Cause
okay. You weren't fixing the truck on site then.
No, I was 13 miles away.
Oh, okay.
from-
That's
so
right.
we brought them back. Yeah, we brought them back. But boy, they give me this, and I can't remember who it's made by, if it's Raid or who it is. They gave me this flying insect spray for the outhouses, for the vault toilets. If I come across one that's got a lot of flies in it, or if it's got a ton of skeeters or something in there, they said just give it a quick couple of sweeps with that sprays, close the door, have a smoke break, then go in there. Give it about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And they said that'll really help. I had one crapper, it was just full of black flies. Just they were all over. You could hear them hitting the ceiling. And on top of that, just as many mosquitoes. And I thought, man, I can't even stand in here to clean this bathroom. So I grabbed that shit. I had it in the door pocket. I pulled it out. Give it a quick spray. Closed the door. Had a smoke break. I opened that damn door, and I swear to God, I could have filled a dustpan with all the dead bugs on the floor. It killed everything in that bathroom. It killed every flying bug in there.
That's what you got to find, that commercial shit,
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's off the shelf.
Really?
They said they got it at I believe they got it at Walmart.
God dang.
And I'm gonna have to pencil down what it is that they gave me, because that shit worked good, man. It worked.
I don't have that problem, but if I ever had that problem, that'd be something.
And the best thing about it was it don't smell like a chemical.
No?
When I opened that damn door after 10 minutes, the room smelled awesome. It's like it had air fresheners in it.
Really?
No chemical smell at all. It was a nice fresh smell, and maybe it's some good stuff. I was so impressed with that. And then they give me 4 big ass cans of wasp and hornet killer, because we get paper wasps and the like, making nests around our outhouses, and that's the last thing a camper needs. Is he's got to go and he's got hornets or wasps tearing into him. Well, so they give me 4 cans of that crap and 1 can of that flying insect shit. I told them I'll trade you 3 cans, 3 cans of the hornet killer, or 3 cans of that flying insect stuff, which it says on there that it's not intended to be used to kill hornets or wasps. It's just other flying insects like mosquitoes, flies, like gnats, those kinds of things. Well, okay. So I thought, hey, Mad Kiwi, good to see you. I thought, well, hey, Sterling Silver. I thought, well, if that shit works that well, I'm going to use it every time I do one of them bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And so now I just automatically, I go in with, I got this industrial grade soap in this. You've seen those mosquito kind of bug sprayers where you pump them up.
Yeah,
you got a hose and a wand, and that's what we use. We just pour that soap straight, fill that thing up, and you go in there and you spray the crapper, the inside, the outside of it with that. And so I'll run in there. I prop the door open, run in there, spray the crapper all down, flop the lid over, take my bug spray out, slam that door shut, have a smoke, Open the door, all the bugs are dead on the floor. And that crapper got to soak for 10, 15 minutes with that soap. My pressure washer, man, there's nothing yet. I got a brand new toilet brush from those guys. I asked for it and they looked at me like I was half nuts. And I said, I'm not reaching down one of them crappers to get crap off of them. And they said, well, if you really think you need one, they get me this beautiful commercial grade toilet brush. It's an awesome. I wish I had it here, but it hasn't been used. That pressure washers. I accidentally blew some of the gray. They paint the concrete floors gray. I was blowing the paint off the floor and didn't realize it with that pressure washer. I was just like, oh shit, that ain't good. So yeah.
Well, you had to figure out what its pressure was, right? So you know what distance to stay away from there certain things and everything else. So yeah.
I did find out though that little pressure washer works good for washing my Forest Service truck.
There you go. Didn't you say it was a DeWalt?
No, I don't. I thought it was a Black & Decker, but now it's a weird name. I have not heard of before
or anything like that.
That's another thing I should pencil down or show in a video. Say, hey, look at this is the machine. They are so sweet though. They got just a little battery that's maybe twice the size of a deck of cards.
Okay.
And I pressure washed 5 bathrooms 3 times on one battery charge.
No.
And I ran a total of, it'd be about 18 gallons of water through it. Yeah. So it's a tough machine and runs a long time, and it's so compact and lightweight. You can tell it's really made well, but it's pretty light. And it's got, what is it, a 12-foot hose on it. So I just have 6-gallon water containers in the back of the truck, and you drop one end of the hose in there and head in with the wand and
yeah, you never know those places like out about the pole barn on the outside of the house or whatnot where something like that would be good,
yeah
a regular power washer might be difficult to get back there,
right
something portable and electric. So
and that's why the Forest Service came up with these. They found them somewhere, came up with them because most of the campgrounds, all they've got are hand pumps for water. They don't have electric pumps. There's no electricity.
So right out of the ground.
Yeah.
God,
so
that's cold water. That's great. I love that as a kid.
So if you fill your 6-gallon jugs and you got an electric pressure washer that runs off a battery, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Before they got these, that everybody carried a little 2-cycle gas pressure washer in the back of their truck, and they'd fill a fairly good sized tank with water and have to run that gas pump to do it. And now, the hose, wind it up, velcros together, throw that in the toolbox, stick the wand in the toolbox, and out of sight, out of mind until you need it. Yeah, it's a good deal. Good deal.
Very good. Tools of the trade. It's the right tools for any job. It doesn't matter what it is. Right tools for every job makes it easier. When you got to makeshift stuff up and you're using the wrong thing to do the wrong job, it's not easy.
No. Well, that was just like I didn't have a little hydraulic jack, like a 1-ton jack or something, to put the blades back on that damn tractor. So I got to lay on the ground, my arm underneath that deck, one arm over the top of the deck to tighten those bolts up, and you couldn't even see under the deck, so you're feeling everything. And the guy that came and fixed it, that's the first thing popped out was a little hydraulic jacket. Lifted the nose of that big old tractor up in the air, and he sits down on the ground. He never laid down once. He just, everything's right there. And I said, that's it. Guess what's coming out to camp with me?
Well, that's like even me and my tractor. When I have to replace the blades on my zero turn, I jack it up so I can actually get to the blades a lot easier. I've got a C clamp that I put up underneath there, and I put the C clamp so when the blade gets to a certain point, it hits that C clamp and can't move. And I can undo it, put the new one on. I can spins around
just the
way,
opposite. Yep.
And I can get it on, torque it on there nice and tight. So
you find those little tricks that make life so much easier.
Oh yeah. Well, I did on my son on Sunday, the day my son had his commencement for high school. I did have to work on my tractor. I got back from my mother-in-law's, another story. Got back from her place, mowing her place, got home, and I had like a couple of hours before his commencement. I was like, well, you know what? I have to replace this deck cable. Now, on this zero turn, you got a pedal on the right-hand side that brings the deck up and down. So if you got to go over a root or something, you push on the cable.
Pop that up.
The deck comes up a little bit higher so you don't, not catch it on the blades or anything else. Well, this cable is frayed. And this thing is only like 5 or 6 years old, right? I just got done paying the stupid thing off. So I look online, it's got a couple of cables holding it, but you can't put it up in the lock position because it's now at this point, it's kind of stretched out beyond the point where you can lock it up in the travel mode.
Yeah.
So of course this cable is $55.
Oh, sure.
So by the time I get it shipped to the house, it's $62. But anyways, that's not the whole story. So I get up to my zero turn, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm thinking, well, they don't make this user friendly.
No.
All the bolts, the heads, and they're not bolts; they're flat. They're flat. So they're I don't know what you call them. They're bolts that have a square on the back of them, and the bolt, the nut goes in the direction. So it's nice. It looks very nice.
Right.
For, when you look at it, but as being user friendly. You're not putting, so I have to reach down and under and reach it. And I have to get my 13 millimeter ratcheting. I can't use a socket wrench. I have to use my ratcheting wrench and get it in there. And you can make like an eighth of a turn with it
each time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally get these ones off. Then I have to get these other ones. So I got to go from, I thought I was going to have to drop the deck. Probably the easiest way for someone who's dropped the deck and can put the belt back on and everything else would have been to drop the deck and everything else, jack it up a little bit. If I'd taken it to the place to have them do it, that's probably what they would have done. They've probably done it a million times. I spent 2 hours out in the hot sun effing with this thing. And of course, I've never taken this cable off before. So I am dicking around with all this. Finally, I get the old cable off. All right, putting it all back together is going to be a breeze, right? So I put the new cable on. The problem is a new cable, the end is about 1/4 of an inch longer than the old one. So when I put it back in there and I go stick it, the hole won't line up. And it's hard to explain. So all I'm going to say is the hole won't line up. So now I got to get my bench grinder out, which I haven't had out in a while. I got to grind off 1/4 of an inch off the end of this stupid thing. Now I'm hoping this thing holds, but I can't imagine that they have this cable. And it was just finally but I got it all put together with plenty of time to take a shower and be at my son's commencement. But it was just one of those ones where, a lot of curse words were said.
Oh yeah.
Again, it wasn't user friendly whatsoever for, a normal, but I didn't want to pay someone to do something that I thought I could do.
Right.
And the more I started tearing it down, the more I wanted to have someone else do it. But all right, you're this far into it. See what more you can do. I even got to the point where there's a little lever. I got the whole seat disassembled. All I got to do is and I can't get it beyond this little lever that comes out of this hole. I'm trying to twist it, turn it, and I'm like, and I'm cursing at this point. I've been cursing the whole time. But I finally get it, and then of course I got to get that part back together. But yeah, it went back together fine. And again, got it parked back out in the pole barn. everything felt all nice and tight and new again. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow, Friday, I got to put the new blades on it because it seems like I got to put sharpener blades twice a year.
Uh-huh.
And because of my property and my mother-in-law's property with some roots and some different things, it seems like every time I go to sharpen some blades or take it to a place to get sharpened, they always tell me, well, we can't sharpen these. Or one of them's bent.
Yeah.
Right? So they can't bend them back. So buying new blades isn't very expensive. So I just wind up buying new blades and do that every now and then. But yeah, it seems like I'm at the point when I look at my lawn, I look at her lawn, and I see little imperfections in the cut. It's like, all right, well, something's bent underneath there, and it's trying to replace one of those bent blades. So,
see, and that's the thing is with this mower at the Forest Service, they've always bounced. They're always bouncing that thing off of big roots or big mounds of dirt. They're going over and they're not getting that deck up in time and hitting rocks. And
people are driving it, they don't give a shit. It's not theirs.
Yeah, it's not theirs, so they don't give a shit. And I look at it as what I give a shit about is that it's going to do its job, and I'm going to get this done and over with. So don't it if it ain't broke, don't break it. It's just use it carefully and make it last. So what, it takes you 10 extra minutes to get the job done, to go around that instead of going, wow, I hit that root again. Oh, you poor dumb bastard.
Well, with the blades come off, it's going to take even longer, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because you kept saying those blades kept falling off. Now, of course, as you went further along in the story, it was the fact that you couldn't torque them down tight enough. But I can remember I had cut off some little stumps from some little trees out in my yard, and I had the blade up at a certain point. Well, I dropped it down to another point, and I hit one of these little stumps. When I hit one of those stumps with this zero turn, first instantly the gas engine went off.
Oh,
the blade and the nut came off. The blade hit the front tire.
Oh, shit.
Zero turn. So obviously when you hit that, instantly that lug or that nut that kept the blade on dropped. It dropped right there. It didn't go anywhere.
That blade was spinning and went airborne.
It went right into that front tire, and took out my tire. So not only did I have to replace the blade, but at least the nut was still there. But I had to replace that front tire and that thing too. So I'm thinking, all right, well, this is a learning lesson. That was the first time zero turn or corner. All right, so now I got to know what things to do and what not to do.
I'll tell you a little something on a zero turn. My supervisor said, I got two mowers, one for you and one for Travis. And he said, but you guys have to share a trailer because we don't have an extra trailer. And I was okay with that. I said, yeah, that's cool, because if I got a mower at my home campground, I can always keep that just kind of trimmed up and always be ahead of the game. The other campground, I'd have to go get the trailer from Travis and haul my mower up there. But Travis said, no way. Nope, I'm not going for that. I'd rather share the Simplicity tractor with Sty, and then we go to the Forest Service yard and we swap. He has it for a week, I have it for a week. And we just use one trailer, one tractor. Okay, I'm okay with that, I guess. But what they were going to do was they told him he's going to get a zero turn. He said, no, I don't want one. And they said, and the one they were going to give him, thank God he didn't take it. But they said, well, then we'll give the zero turn to Sty. Well, that zero turn's got a 50-inch deck on it.
Okay.
And what I got to mow, there's trees that I can get my 48 through, and it's rubbing the trunks of both trees. I would have never gotten that zero turn through them. I would have been doing a lot of jacking around, and it would have just added a lot of time to what I do. So I just agreed, said, okay, we'll use the Simplicity and share it. Well, come to find out that damn zero turn is broke down 5 times just this last week. 5 times they've had to go and repair it. The shield over that it's a Dixon, and there's a shield over the belt system.
Okay.
To keep grass and shit getting in there and throwing a belt
in there.
Yeah, otherwise it'll throw a belt. And that Dixon's got a foot platform, so you're well above the belts, But if you're stupid and you step off of it before those belts are done turning, yeah, you could wrap a foot up in a pulley, But so I asked Travis, why don't you want the zero turn? Because his campground I saw as a perfect campground for a zero turn. Lots of open space and big open spots with a lot of grass with one big ass tree in the middle. Man, you just zip up there and right around that tree and off you go.
Sure.
And I used a zero turn John Deere for 5 years, maintaining some properties I had. Well, he says, no, I can't use zero turn. And I said, give me a good reason. He says, the beach. And I go, the beach. And he goes, yeah. He says, my beach. Well, he's got a swimming beach at his campground. And it's a slope. It's pretty steep, but you get right at the beach and it's really abrupt. It's really steep. And he said, my very first year as a host, and this is his 3rd year. So 2 years ago, Forest Service ranger did all of the mowing. He came there and was mowing the beach, and Travis watched him mowing that. You can't go down and then back up because it takes you right into that beach sand, and zero turns dead in the water right there sitting. Okay. So you got to mow it sideways.
Yeah.
And first of all, anybody gets nervous when they're leaning, Well, this forest ranger is doing that slope, and the ass end on that zero turn's heavy. It slid, and he went ass backwards right into the lake, and they had pictures. And the seat of the zero turn is all, and the handles is all you could see sticking out of the water. He ended up with that zero turn right in the lake, and Travis figured that's what's going to happen to me. So he said no zero turn. But then this mower that we have that I had the blades falling off of, something happened. That mower's got to be 10. It's got to be 10 years old. That mower, the deck, it's got a 48-inch deck, and it's a heavy son of a bitch. God, that's a heavy deck. On the one side, you can see the perfect cut in that deck where a blade went and cut right through the side of the deck.
Really?
I look at that and I'm like, holy Jesus, I don't want nobody around me while I'm mowing. Because now with that cut in that deck, I asked this guy that fixed the mower yesterday, I said, when you get a chance, can you bring your welder down? I said, I got my generator to run it. And he goes, what for? And I said, I want you to weld up that cut in that deck. He goes, why? And I said, because if whatever happened there happens again, it doesn't have enough steel to keep that blade under that deck. It's going to come right through that deck, and it's going to be airborne, and somebody's going to get killed. Hey, Nikki Pink. Good to see ya.
What's up, Raven? How you doing, man?
Hey,
What's
Raven.
Up, how you doing, Nikki? I'm seeing you in a while, girl. Miss all caps.
Miss all caps.
So it's that's the only way Nikki knows how to do it. All caps.
That's that. I mean, well, you have to say it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never have to hit the shift key that way.
Not saying that you're easy, Nikki. Just saying it's easy to type.
Oh, yeah, Nikki. Yeah, I can't wait. we're supposed to have a week of rain and nasty storms and shit. On Sunday, it's supposed to clear up, be nice. I ain't doing nothing on Sunday. If the weather's good, man, my kayak's going in the lake and I'm doing some fishing this coming Sunday.
That sounds good.
I've been itching to get out on the kayak. Well, I took a dip in the lake last night.
We've got a lot of good days ahead.
You do?
We do, yeah. A lot. See all those little suns and no clouds?
Oh my God.
We've got a lot of nice looking days ahead. So
all in the 80s and upper 70s.
No 90s, which is always good. No, when you're fat, 90-degree days are bad.
You don't have to be fat. You can be old too. I just
and old and fat is bad too. So hey.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm a little pissed about is I'm not losing weight. I weighed myself when I got home today and I lost like 3 pounds in 2 weeks. But I'm losing inches too fast, man. I went from a 38 down to a 36. Then I went down to a 34, all in 5 weeks. Well, then now this last 2 weeks, my 34s, I got to hold them suckers up till I get the belt around. And so I think I could squeeze into 32s right now. And it's like, no, I don't want to have to buy a whole damn new wardrobe.
All right, I'm going to Wisconsin and sponsor a camp or something.
A weight loss program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A volunteer weight loss program. There you go. What's up, Barnyard Chicken?
Hey, Barnyard Chicken. And that's the thing is I was a little concerned, I'm getting old, man. I don't want it to be too much physical labor, excessive stuff. Oh, hell, the other day I was down at our Forest Service yard and another host from a different campground pulled in there and he goes, "Oh, geez, Sty, you don't know how much I'm glad to see you." And I go, "What's going on? Why are you glad to see me?" Because him and I, we just don't see too eye to eye. His wife is nice. The host is there, but not him. He's a goofball. And he goes, "I need a bunch of 4x4, 8-foot 4x4 signposts for out at my campground." And I go,
"Okay.
Oh, okay. They're all in that compound area. You can just open the gate, go in there and get them." He goes, "Look at the car I'm driving." He says, "I'm going to have 2 to 3 feet of 4x4 sticking out the back driver's side window and the front passenger window. And I'm going to have," he says, "I want 6, but I don't think I'll get more than 4 through those windows."
Sucks to be you.
I said, "Well, that's a shame." I said, "It's a good thing you're only about 3 miles from here."
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, "Come on, do me a favor and haul those for me." And Travis was there, and I said, "Come on, Travis, let's load those 4x4s up in my truck." And he wanted 6. I got 4 of them in the truck, and Travis, he loaded 2. And I realized, son of a bitch, I haven't worked that hard and fast in I don't know how long. And I told him, I said, "Okay, I'll meet you up at your campground at the host site." I said, "Be ready to unload these." He goes, "Okay, I'll meet you there." I get there, and he had already pulled in. He stood there and watched me unload all the 4x4s for him, stacked them all up nice. And he goes, "Sty, I owe you one." All of a sudden, I heard their camper window open, and it's his wife, Lisa. She yells out the window. She goes, "Sty, don't listen to that lying son of a bitch." She says, "He does owe you, but I'll be the one that pays you." She says, "I'm going to invite you over for dinner some night." And she says, "We'll have a good old time." And I go, "Hey, I like that. I said, "You're such a sweetheart," and she goes, "Well, let's just put it this way." She says, "I really like you, and he can go kiss somebody's ass for all I care." The look on that boy's face. I don't think he's going to ask me to bring anything to his campsite ever again. And I thought, boy, Lisa, you probably just did me a big favor. Yep, yep. Oh God, I can't let him around here. He's hitting on the old lady. I wasn't. No, I wasn't hitting on her. She was hitting on me, boy. She's gonna
It's
make
nice to
me
get
a
a meal.
dinner.
It's nice to get a meal you ain't got to cook yourself, right?
That's you're darn right.
Especially
I
when
went
you're
to
camping.
Travis down at Black Lake. He told me, he says, "I want you to text me tomorrow afternoon, and I want you to come on down to my campground." And I said, "What for? What's up?" He goes, "I'll fix us dinner." He says, "I'm all alone down there this week." I said, "Well, that sounds cool. Okay." I get down there, man, he grilled pork chops, had an awesome tossed salad and mashed potatoes and
Lots of
gravy.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to make somebody a good wife someday. You know, that the food was to die for. I feel so good for that guy. Him and his wife and his girls, they have had an awesome Kodiak camper, but it's one of those with the two end pop outs, the canvas pop outs.
Okay.
It's not a tent camper, it's a hard shell camper, but the pop out bedroom things, you know. All it is mattresses and a tent type pop out.
Sounds like a pop up.
Yeah, it's like a pop up, except it's a solid, good sized camper, and it's just got pop outs instead of pop ups.
It doesn't pop up and out. It's already
No.
up. It just pops out.
Yeah, it looks like a regular hard shell camper,
Okay.
a big hard shell camper. But when they get there, the ends, there's the part that the mattresses sit on are the front and back ends of the camper.
Okay.
Those fold down and the canvas pulls out. And it's a neat camper, but there's a lot of maintenance with that canvas, you know, being on it. And his uncle I don't even know how long that trailer is that he got, but his uncle had a damn near brand new trailer, all hard shell, big, dual axle job, fancy, really sweet. He did a video, in fact, it's on his channel, of that new camper. And his uncle sold it to him on a promissory note, interest free.
Wow.
And he was hoping that he could sell his camper to pay off a good portion of this one he just got. And sure enough, his sister-in-law bought his old camper from him, and she got a really sweet deal on it. But it paid off the balance he owed on it, plus left him a nice, good chunk to pay down this new trailer. But I saw that's when I decided I just might sell the adventure trailer and get myself a regular hard shell camper. You know, it ain't gonna be some big bastard like he got. No. It might be like a 24-footer or something.
You put a lot of work into that thing, though.
Yeah.
And you'd have to put a lot of work into a new one with your batteries and everything else that you want, your little kitchenette and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you know, I figure the work I put into the one I got, I'll get it all back when I sell it. You know, it added some worth to the trailer. So,
because yours is kind of unique, isn't it? Isn't it more like a snowmobile trailer or something? It wasn't designed.
It was a Harley Davidson, two motorcycle utility trailer.
Yeah, so it's not a traditional camper. You've made it.
No, I made it into, it's far from traditional, but somebody that's got a nice Harley and they don't want to ride it all the way to Sturgis, could buy that trailer, fold the Murphy bed up, put the Harley in there,
Oh,
strap
really?
her down, head to Sturgis, and that's their rolling tent. Plus, they got the Harley with them.
Well, that'd be
You
good.
know, so I think
That's
I
how
can
you-
market it.
That's
Market
how you
it
market
well
it, right?
Yeah, I'll get the right guy that's got the right purpose for that trailer. And right now, oddly enough, uh, used older used RV trailers are selling pretty cheap. At
Are
least up here. At least up here they are.
That's good.
You can get a really nice. Well, it's going to be probably 15, 20 years old, but you can get a really nice trailer for $4,000, $4 or $5,000.
You can get some of these people that really take good care of this stuff, and just
Right.
or they don't take great care of it, but with a few $100s in renovations and new mattresses and things like that,
Right. Right.
you can make it like it's almost brand new.
Brand new. Right. See, and that's the thing is I've owned a few of those over the years, so I know what to expect, in the used ones. Things that can go wrong. That they might have a black tank that's leaking, or they might have or their potable water tank the pump is shot or something, things like that can be easily repaired,
And it's funny, they're stupid, because you can buy one of those things, use it for a few years, turn around, hardly lose any money on it at all.
Right.
And you had it for a few years. So it really didn't cost you much to actually own it.
Own it.
I mean, if you buy brand new, you're gonna lose your butt on it.
See, and that's why I think the smaller ones, like I would be looking for, why they're so reasonable is because you'll get these young guys tell their new wife, "Oh, we need a camper. We got to have a camper." They buy a camper and then they find out, "Oh, she's pregnant." Oh, yeah. 3 years later, "Oh, she's pregnant again." Oh, our trailer's getting awful small. We got kids. This sucks. Now, for a bachelor like me, that trailer's sweet, just the right size, but it don't fit the family anymore. So they upgrade. They get a trailer that's 10 feet longer and it's got pop outs, and I'm just waiting in line to grab their original trailer dirt cheap, because they've paid it off. They're ready to move on to the bigger trailer. I'm waiting. So I'm thinking I'll probably I would probably do that this fall. But yeah, barnyard chicken, I'm that way too. Every camper I've ever bought, the mattresses went right in the dumpster. They went right in the dumpster.
And you don't keep on something else someone else slept on. No.
It's bad enough sleeping on somebody in your extended family, sleeping on their beds, to sleep on some total stranger's mattress. That ain't happening, man.
You try not to think about it. I really try not to think about it. Yes, because when you know what you know, if you've read it or watched any videos or anything, it's just like, ooh, it's creepy.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just, well, and I had to go and watch this stupid documentary kind of video thing about different things about the human condition. And okay, what if they own that trailer for 10 years? Did you know that the average human body loses up to 10 pounds, up to 1 pound per year of dead skin?
So mattress weighs more.
And most of it ends up in your bed or on your bedroom floor. Well, hopefully it ends up in your vacuum cleaner.
Right.
But when I saw that, I'm going, what the hell? I ain't sleeping in no used mattress. There ain't no way in hell. It's full of dead guys' skin.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the guy might still be walking around, but it's his dead skin. I mean, might as well sleep with the dead guy, you know? Yeah, that kind of shit freaks me out. It does. But I figure if I had a little self-contained RV trailer, I've got 3 deep cycle batteries that won't go with this trailer. I've got my Jenny. I've got everything. I got everything I need that I'd be totally self-contained and very comfortable in that trailer. And plus, I don't have to pack things in bins and stuff like that. It all goes in the cupboards, and it's, you know, it's all in place all the time.
Sure.
So, yeah. And it would be easier if I ever decide that I'm going to follow the weather. I found out that I can go to work for the Corps of Engineers down in Texas as a campground host during the winter. And guess what my duties are? You are not as a host to one of the Corps' campgrounds. You are not allowed to do the bathrooms. You're not allowed to mow grass. You're not allowed to do any kind of repairs. You're not allowed to maintain or clean out fire pits. Their paid staff have to do those things. As a host, you just drive around the campground in a golf cart and make yourself available 5 days a week for campers to ask you for information, questions, blah, blah, blah.
Sounds perfect.
You're not even allowed to hang up the reservation cards on the sites. No,
do you get a campsite?
And you get a free all connection campsite.
Wow.
You get water, sewer, and electric at your campsite.
Come on, Granny, we're hooking up the shed. We're going. Come on.
That's it. That's it. I mean,
Texas.
And I find out that our host at Day Lake, that's what he does every winter. He's been doing it now for 6 years. He goes and hosts either in Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas. And he says, I just ride around in a golf cart 5 days a week. And he says, then I come up north here and do the summer up here. And he says, but they want me to work. He said, I got to do things. And I said, yeah, like carry your own 4x4 posts, you son of a bitch. That's probably why he didn't touch any of those posts, because
he used to not to.
He couldn't figure out how to get them out of there with his golf cart. Yeah. So yeah, that if I had a trailer like that, then I might consider doing something like that. Just run it down south for the winter and then run back in the spring. That might be worth considering. Hey, Phil, you got to work tomorrow, don't you?
I got 11.5-hour day ahead of me.
I got to let you out of here, man. It's 11 o'clock your time.
It is.
It is. It definitely is. Hey, I want to thank all you guys that are hanging out in the chat and you're out there just listening. Thank you all for being here. It's been a blast. You helped me get through the next week. I will be back next Wednesday to do this again. They're trying to talk me into only doing this every other week, coming home and doing my live streams. I told them, no, ain't happening. That's what gets me through the whole week, is knowing I get to come back. This last 2 weeks without being able to chat with you guys was tough. It was tough. So if I can at least see you guys once a week, that helps. That helps a lot. So until the next time, guys, you all take care of yourselves. Thank you for being up here, Phil. Yeah, you're always there for me, man. I love it.
I'm always here.
We had the pleasure of having Cheesehead Chris come on, and we're glad that he survived his ordeal.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. That poor guy. There's a lot. He's got a lot of stories.
I can't imagine.
But yeah, he's had some of the worst health things happen. More than one person ever would deserve, But get her done, Granny. It was good to hear that she has good news. Things are going
the right way for her. Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Very good. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Take care. Have a good week, Phil.
Keep spicy.
Keep it spicy. Yeah, I've been wearing your hoodies. Not lately. It's been too damn hot. It's been 70 degrees at night. But boy, I had 3 weeks of below freezing. And in the morning, people would see me come out of my trailer, and I got my everything spicy hoodie. Kept me warm, man. Kept me warm. So take care, everybody. We'll see y'all soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.